the second in our dramatisations of Rosamond Lehmann's novels about Olivia Curtis.
The Weather in the Streets, the first of two plays adapted by Elspeth Sands from the novel by Rosamond Lehmann, with Angela Pleasence and Simon Cadell.
Wake up, Etty. Please wake up. Can't be morning already. I'm coming. One of these days, Etty, I can... Yes?
Olivia?
Mother!
I'm beginning to think the line was out of order.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've only just... What time is it?
Gone 8.
Oh, Lord, can't be.
I was afraid I'd miss you.
Oh, it's still dark. I expected the fog. It was pretty bad last night.
Listen, dear.
Is something wrong?
I didn't want to worry you earlier.
Mother, what is it?
It's your father. I'm afraid he's...
Oh, what's happened to him?
Now, please, Olivia, I don't want you panicking.
Is he ill?
I'm afraid he is, rather. It's his chest.
Bronchitis?
We thought so at first, but the doctor says pneumonia.
No!
Now, dear, there's no need for alarm. He's making such a splendid fight. Dr. Martin says there's every chance, if his heart holds out, you know.
How long has he been ill?
Oh, it started a few days ago. He would go out in that bitter east wind. You mustn't worry. Kate's here. She's been marvellous.
I'll come at once.
There's no need to rush.
Why didn't you let me know sooner?
Well, dear, you're always telling us how busy you are.
I'll be on the 9:10.
Really, Olivia, that isn't necessary. Why not wait till the fog's lifted?
I'll take the bus from the station.
Very well, dear. Though I don't see what all that hurry...
Give Dad my love.
Of course. Remember me to Etty.
Yes, I will. Goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye, dear. And don't worry.
Please, God, don't let him die. Please. Oh, Olivia? Etty, it's you.
Is something up? Oh, it's like a tomb in here. Oh, fog. How unutterably dreary.
Etty?
Yes, darling? Oh, Lord, you look ghastly.
I'm all right.
Wasn't that the phone I heard just now?
It was Mother. Dad's ill. Pneumonia.
Oh, darling! Oh, how awful. I'm so sorry. Oh, you poor darling.
I'd better go and pack.
Well, can I get you something? A cup of tea, at least.
I don't think there's time. Don't worry. I'll have breakfast on the train. Come on, come on. Oh, thank God. Fog's lifting. It'll be fine in the country. Better do something about my face. Oh, dear. It is right. I do look ghastly. Mother will say I haven't been eating.
Here we are, sir. There's usually room down this end.
Thank you. There you go. Up you go, young lady. What did I tell you? A whole seat to yourself. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, you don't mind? The dog, I mean.
No, not at all. I'm very fond of dogs.
Revolting London, wasn't it? Relieved to get out.
Will you be wanting breakfast, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Very well, sir.
Rollo Spencer, of all people. Thank God he hasn't recognised me.
Looking brighter, don't you think?
Oh, much. It's going to be a lovely day. He doesn't remember me. Why should he? It was light years ago. Not that he's changed. He's still...
That looks splendid. Feast fit for a king. What do you say, Lucy, old girl? Should we have the lot?
An extra sausage for the dog, sir?
Extra two if you can spare them.
Certainly, sir.
What a pronounced female.
Who, Lucy?
Is she as possessive as she looks?
I should say so. She goes into a sulk if I so much as look at another woman.
The rolls and marmalade are extra, sir.
Good heavens, what is the world coming to? All right, extra it is then.
More coffee, madam?
No, thank you.
Terrific breakfast railway companies do give one. I always overeat distressingly on trains. You know, there's something about the words eggs, rolls, sausages. One look at the card and my self-control snaps. I must have everything.
I know. I feel the same about ice cream lists. Mixed fruit sundae, Cupid's kiss, banana split. It's the banana split does for me.
Well, I know what you mean. But you know, the sound of it doesn't absolutely fire me. Not like the word sausage. I'm afraid I'm more earthy than you are. I hope all this isn't turning you up.
Oh, not a bit. I'm just not a breakfaster. With 1 and 6pence in my pocket, I can't afford to be.
I used to see you quite a long time ago, didn't I? At home or somewhere.
Yes. Our families are neighbours of a sort. I used to come to tea with your sister. It was ages ago. I didn't think you'd remember me.
Well, I do. It is, I wasn't absolutely certain for the first moment, and I've got a terrible memory for names, but you and Marigold were great buddies, as I remember. Are you on your way home now?
Yes.
Me too. Going to murder a few pheasants. I meant to go down last night, but the fog was too thick. Do you often come down?
Not as often as I should.
I seem to remember having a rather serious conversation with you once. At a dance, wasn't it? Marigold's coming out dance. We talked on the terrace. As I recall, you were thought depressed.
Yes. I didn't think you'd noticed.
We talked about life.
Oh, dear. I always did in those days, given half a chance.
You've changed.
Have I?
Got thin.
My mother would agree with you. She liked me best when I was a great big bouncing flapper.
Well, you're not that now.
Has Marigold changed? I haven't seen her since... Oh, not for ages.
I suppose she must have done. I really couldn't tell you. Brothers are not the most reliable of judges, you know. You were at her wedding, weren't you? Yes, that must have been the last time we met.
We didn't speak.
Didn't we? I am sorry.
Why should you be sorry? I wasn't an important guest.
That's hardly the point, is it?
Is she happy?
Marigold? Oh, don't ask me. She enjoys life, I'll say that for her, but then she was always determined to do that.
I follow her career in the Tatler.
Yes. Yes, she does seem to be something of a public figure.
Do you mind?
Oh, good God, no. What Marigold does with her life is her own business. Do I really look such a Puritan?
Oh, no. I didn't mean that.
Of course you didn't. I was pulling your leg.
Last time we met, you told me to read Tristram Shandy.
And did you?
Yes, of course. I started the very next day.
What a good memory you've got.
For the old times, yes. I seem to remember everything. I suppose when one's young, a little goes a very long way. It's like being on a rather empty road with a few signposts simply shouting at you and a few figures looming out at you larger than life. One has so little and one expects so much.
I expect you're right. Though I don't know. I've always been an idle sort of bloke, drifting along with the stream, knocking up against things. I don't actually remember my youth very clearly. One or two things stand out.
It's the things that have happened more recently I can't hold on to. Houses I've lived in. People I've been with. It's all a blur.
It's age creeping on, that's what it is. I suffer from the same thing myself, though I shouldn't have expected you to yet a while.
Perhaps that is it. Impressions pile up faster than you can sort them, so a kind of shutter comes down. The images grow dim, not to speak of all the things one wants to forget. So one does.
Do you mind the idea of growing old?
Terribly. Do you?
Teeth dropping out, wrinkles, fat, and slow and pompous. No more feeling enthusiastic and expectant. But no more anything.
And feeling you've missed something important when it's too late.
No, it's the principle of the thing that I object to. Being stalked down and counted out without a single word to say in the matter.
I know. In a trap from the very start. Born to it, in fact.
Yes. I don't suppose we're quite the first to resent it, do you?
No. And sometimes I think it may not be as bad as all that. That the worst is now, in the apprehension of it. And actually we'll just slip into it without a struggle. Accept it quite peacefully. We shan't long for our time over again.
Don't you think so?
I think it. I don't feel it. But very occasionally I get a hint that one day I might be going to feel it. I suddenly see the idea of it, like getting a glimpse of a place a long, long way off. You only see it for a second now and then, in a particular weather. But you're walking towards it, and you know it's where you're going to in the end.
I dare say you're right. At least it should be like that. Well, anyhow, if we've had a good run for our money, and that's up to us, isn't it?
Yes.
One's apt to put the blame on other people, circumstances, which is ridiculous.
And unsatisfactory.
You found that too, have you?
I've noticed people with children don't generally mind so much. About age, I mean.
Don't they? Oh, I expect you're right.
You haven't got any?
No. Have you?
No. We must cultivate our intellects. You know what they say? The only lasting pleasures are intellectual ones.
I'm afraid I've left that a bit late. One ought at least to make a start in youth. And now that I've reached the ripe old age of 35... Fact is, I don't care much about the intellect.
Really?
The scope of my pleasures is confined entirely to those of the senses.
Oh, I see.
That's the life I lead. Into the office, regular as clockwork. If I didn't have my distractions...
I expect you lead a very exciting life, really. Far more exciting than the rest of us.
Oh, I assure you my life's every bit as humdrum as the next man.
I can't believe that.
Oh, city man? Partner in an old established firm of stockbrokers. Now, what could possibly be more dull? A married city man into the bargain. What do you think of that?
I read about it in the papers. Nicola Maud. How could I ever forget? I've seen you dancing with someone very beautiful. I can hear myself now. And his reply. I dare say she's as stupid as an owl. I knew then that he'd marry her.
No. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. I know how lucky I am.
You all seem that.
What?
Lucky.
Really? What an odd thing to say. But I'd never have thought that...
Lucky. Glamorous. Romantic. You and your family had everything. Still have, I dare say.
Oh, come now, you're making me feel positively guilt-stricken.
I didn't mean to.
And all the time...
All the time what?
I'm sure you lead a much more interesting life than I do.
You wouldn't say that if you really knew me.
I don't know many intellectuals.
Is that what you think I am?
Well, you're certainly not. What was it your mother called you? A bouncing flapper. Hello, the gas works. I've never known this journey go so quickly.
Your bill, sir. Shall I make it out for two?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, no, please.
I'll deal with this, please. There.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Aren't I allowed to stand you one cup of coffee?
Yes, certainly. Anytime you invite me. But please take this now. For luck.
I dislike feminist demonstrations.
So do I.
All right. But I'll hold you to that.
What?
A cup of coffee. Perhaps I can give you a lift. You're at Little Compton, aren't you? I was practically on my way.
There's no need, really. I can easily take a bus.
Good heavens, I wouldn't dream of it. Benson will be waiting with the car.
Well, if you're sure it's no trouble.
I absolutely insist. This is a turn-up, meeting you again like this. Do you live in London?
Yes.
You know, you ought to look up Marigold sometime. I'm sure she'd love to see you.
I'd like to, very much.
She's supposed to be going down this weekend. Why don't you come over to Meldon, say hello?
Oh, no. I couldn't, really.
Mummy would love to see you. You were always something of a favourite.
Was I? Was I really?
It surprises you.
Yes. You see, your mother has always been something of a symbol to me. A sort of ultimate standard. I don't expect you to approve of me at all now.
Why ever not?
I can't explain.
You are being mysterious.
Is your wife coming down?
Nicola?
Yes.
No, she's not. She's staying with her mother.
Oh.
She doesn't care too much for the country.
I see.
All looks solid enough, wouldn't you say?
What does?
Houses, villages, backbone of England, yeah.
Every time I come along this road, there's a fresh outbreak of bungalows. Look at that one. I dunno. If only I had the energy to set fire to them. Except they go and put up something worse. Look! There's one called Who'd Have Thought It.
Nasty little brutes, I agree.
England gets squallider and squallider, and nobody minds enough to stop it.
Well, nobody can if it wants to.
Can't people be educated?
But they have been. That's just it. You're looking at the glorious result.
I'd just like to blow the whole thing up. Start again.
Oh, dear me. An anarchist.
You ought to mind about it.
But I never do anything I ought.
God, I'm going to cry. What's happening to me? He doesn't care about other people, real people, so long as his life is safe, privileged. May I have a cigarette?
Oh, rather. So sorry. Dozens. Are you all right?
The thing is, the reason I'm coming home, it's because of my father. He's very ill, pneumonia.
I'm most terribly sorry. Why didn't you tell? How awful for you. I'm afraid I've been most frightfully insensitive.
No, I mean, how could you possibly have known? Oh, God. Why did I have to tell him? Now I've made him feel sorry for me.
I do hope you'll find it isn't too bad.
I expect I will. I've betrayed him, haven't I? My own father. Just to get Rollo's sympathy.
Daddy was most frightfully ill last winter. Heart, kidneys, everything just seemed to pack up. We all thought, well, you know what it is. One does tend to panic, rather, but he's right as rain now, practically.
I'm so glad.
Doctor said he'd never leave his bed, but he very soon proved them wrong.
You must have been terribly relieved.
Well, you know what Daddy's like. Hates to be inactive. I say, you will let me know, won't you? About your father. I do feel awfully concerned for you.
It is kind of you. Thank you.
Perhaps I might ring up, if that wouldn't be an awful bore.
Oh, yes. Do. I mean, if you think...
That's your place ahead, isn't it?
Yes.
I'll tell Benson to drive up to the door.
Oh, no, please. There's no need. It might disturb... I'd rather he stopped at the gate.
If you're sure.
You've been most kind.
Stop here, Benson, please. Well, goodbye, then.
Goodbye, Rollo. And thank you.
Who would I ask for? I mean, if I wanted to get hold of you. I'm terribly bad at names. I never remember.
Olivia Curtis. I'm still called that. I mean, I was something else, but I've gone back to that. Goodbye.
Hi, Olivia.
Goodbye, Rollo. Now he knows all about me. That I've been married. That it didn't work. Dad. Why is everything so awful? Mother.
Kate. Hello, Olivia.
How is he?
Oh, much the same. Holding his own. Is that Olivia?
I'm here, Mother.
You're early. I didn't expect you for another half hour at least.
I got a lift from the station.
I thought I had a car.
I ran into Rollo Spencer on the platform.
Oh, how very kind of Mr. Spencer. Quite out of his way, too. I suppose he's down for the shoot.
I expect so.
Have you had breakfast?
I had coffee on the train.
Is that all? No wonder you're so scraggy.
I wasn't hungry.
Well, how can you expect to do a proper morning's work on an empty stomach?
I don't do a proper morning's work, Mother.
Oh, you and Etty are as bad as each other.
How is Dad? Can I see him?
Not just now, dear.
Oh,
he's
Mother.
having a little sleep. Later, perhaps. Why don't you ask Violet to make you some hot bovril? And when you're feeling refreshed, we'll have a proper talk. Ada's made a lovely fire in the schoolroom. You could drink your bovril there. Come on, Liv.
Thank you, Ada. Tell Violet it's just what I wanted. I hate bovril.
That's not the point. Mother wants you to drink it, so drink it you must. It's what's known as doing your bit.
God, hasn't changed a bit, has it? Look, my initials carved in the desk. A lifetime of good housekeeping couldn't erase that. Makes me feel 10 years old again. What are you making?
It's a smock for Polly. You're still smoking, I see.
Yes, we sex-starved women have cravings you comfortable wives and mothers wouldn't dream of. I have tried to give it up. It just seems...
Mother thinks it's the life you lead. Working for Anna in that studio. Living with Etty.
What else would she have me do?
Well, I expect she hoped...
That I'd marry again? Or go back to Ivor? Is that it? God forbid.
Who? It's Dr. Martin.
Does that mean...
He always comes about this time.
Why won't she let me see him?
She will, after the doctor's been.
Does he usually take so long?
He's probably talking to Mother. There's not a lot a doctor can do. It's good nursing that counts.
What's she like, this nurse? Is she a peach?
No. More of a jolly fine girl.
Rob had pneumonia, didn't he?
Yes, the year after we were married. Priscilla was only 6 weeks old.
How does that seem to you? I mean, is he dreadfully uncomfortable?
Well, he's restless and his cough hurts. But not too bad.
Does he talk to you?
Not much, just occasionally. He wanders a bit. Oh, I'll go. Someone inquiring for Dad. These last few days it hasn't stopped.
It won't be Rollo. Not yet. Not ever. Nice men like Rollo don't want to get mixed up. God, this day. Will it never end?
Tell me, I've been meaning to ask. Do you ever see Ivor?
I bumped into him the other day at Julia's. It was quite a shock.
Was he embarrassed?
No, don't think so. Don't think either of us felt anything very much.
Why don't you divorce him?
Oh, dear. I don't know. Too much trouble, I suppose.
But couldn't he make things difficult for you? I mean, if you wanted to marry again, say?
I don't think I'll ever want to marry again. Don't know any marrying men.
Well, what about him, then? Rob says, well, that he might try and divorce you. He could do that, couldn't he?
So that's what's on your mind. You and Rob are afraid I might become the guilty party. Well, you needn't worry. Really. My life is entirely chaste and blameless. Worse luck.
Beats me why you ever married him in the first place. He was desperately unsuitable.
I just don't understand why she won't let me see him.
You heard what the doctor said. He's at a critical stage. He must have absolute quiet. I expect he's still asleep.
Mother seems to be bearing up, all right.
She's been marvellous. I came as soon as I could get things organised at home. Even so, I don't think she's slept more than an hour or two all the week.
I suppose neither of you thought it worth informing me before now. Or James. The two black sheep of the family.
It didn't seem necessary.
Ah, here you are.
Can I see him now?
His temperature's down at last. He's breathing normally.
Does that mean
Well, it's too early to say for certain, but it does seem that...
Oh, thank God. Oh, Mother.
Goodness me, what a fuss. You'll have me snivelling if you carry on like this.
Can I go up now?
Yes, dear, why don't you? He's sleeping so peacefully. I'll just go and tell Violet. She and Ada have been such a strength. He's settled for the night. Nurse insists on staying with him. He seems to have taken quite a fancy to her.
You look done in.
A little tired, perhaps.
I know what you need. A glass of port.
Well, does sound nice. What are you knitting, dear?
A bolero for Jane. She's such a tomboy, none of her clothes last.
There you are. Doctor's orders.
Thank you, Olivia. Oh, I meant to tell you, Kate. Miss Mivart told me. Tony Harriet's coming back on leave this summer.
Now, why did she have to say that? She knows Kate was in love with him.
He went to India, didn't he?
He's made quite a name for himself out there.
She's jealous.
Really? That's nice.
What it is. She has to convince herself all marriages are somehow second best, like hers. Poor Kate.
Now, who can that be at this hour?
I'll go, if it's Rob.
No, don't worry. I won't monopolise him. Hello?
Hello. Could I speak to Miss Olivia Curtis?
It's Olivia speaking.
Oh, hello. Good evening. This is Rollo Spencer. I hope you don't mind my ringing up.
Oh, of course not. It's very nice of you.
Is your father any better?
Well, yes, he is, actually. This afternoon, he seemed to turn the corner.
Oh, I'm terribly glad to hear that. Terribly glad.
It is sweet of you to ring up.
Not at all. I wanted to. We've all been terribly concerned.
Thank you. It's very kind.
Would you hang on a moment? Mummy wants a word with you.
Oh, does she?
Yes, she's just coming.
Is that Olivia?
Yes, Lady Spencer.
My dear, Rollo's told me the good news. I do so rejoice. We've all been terribly concerned. What an anxious time it's been for you.
Yes, it has rather.
You must be quite overcome with relief.
Yes.
Now, tell me, are we going to be able to get a glimpse of you while you're down? You know Marigold's with us.
Yes. That is... Rollo thought she might...
Do you think your mother could spare you for a few hours? Say tomorrow evening. We'd all love to see you.
Oh, it's very kind of you. Thank you. I'd love to come.
And Kate, I imagine she's with you too.
Yes.
Would she like to join us? It would be so nice to see you both again.
I don't know. If you wouldn't mind holding on.
Of course.
It's Lady Spencer, inquiring after Dad.
Oh, how very kind of her.
She's invited Kate and me to Meldon tomorrow evening. What shall I say?
Oh, I don't know.
You can't refuse, surely.
You go, Olivia. I'd really rather not.
Are you sure?
You can wear my white dress. Go on. Say I want to keep Mother company.
Lady Spencer?
Yes, dear?
Kate says she's very sorry, but she feels...
I quite understand. It's a difficult time for you all.
She says to thank you very much.
Well, dear, we'll expect you tomorrow, then. I'll send Benson with the car. Shall we say 7:30?
That sounds wonderful.
We'll look forward to it enormously. Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, Lady Spencer.
It's happened. I'm to see him again.
Her ladyship will be down in a few moments.
Thank you. It hasn't changed at all. None of it. The paintings, chandeliers, green brocade, an elegant frozen palace. It's the rest of the world that's changed.
Hello.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
You were miles away.
It's so beautiful. This room. I've always admired it.
Well, there's talk of having to sell some of the paintings. The Gainsborough, possibly. Rembrandt.
Oh.
It may not look like this for much longer.
I am sorry.
Well, you shouldn't be. It's not the end of the world, is it? Would you like a cocktail?
Oh, yes, please.
I'm most awfully glad, you know, about your father.
Thank you so much. It is good news.
I told you it'd be all right, didn't I?
I'm afraid I didn't believe you.
Well, here's luck.
I hope it's not as strong as it looks.
It'll do you good.
It will make me awfully dreamy.
But you're always dreamy, aren't you?
Oh, dear. Does it show?
Only to a close observer.
Are there many? Tonight? Is it a big party?
Only family. My cousin, Mary Denham, I don't think you know her, do you? No. And George. You must remember him. George Bassett, faithful as a hound, if you'll excuse the pun. Don't worry. I'll look after you.
Olivia, it is, my dear. How delightful. Let me look at you. Oh, you've grown thin, naughty girl.
I'm so glad to see you.
And your father really is on the mend. That's such good news. Do tell your mother. Oh, Jack. Jack, you remember our friend Olivia, don't you?
Who?
Olivia Curtis, Marigold's friend. You remember?
Ah, yes. How are you? Glad to see you.
How do you do, Sir John?
Curtis, I used to know a chap by that name, Little Compton way, Charlie Curtis. Oh, you remember Rollo?
Olivia is his daughter, Daddy. She's come to dine with us.
Oh, bless my soul. Charlie Curtis's gal, eh?
You're looking better, Daddy. Walk did you good.
Ah. Do you like heliotrope?
Very much.
So do I. Don't seem to see much of it about these days. Why is that, I wonder?
I expect it's been superseded.
I can't stand all this elaborate vegetation. What are those blooms called? Chrysanthemums. They're not flowers at all, to my mind.
Well, I admire them awfully. Only perhaps a bit too prosperous.
You know this part of the world, do you?
George, Mary. I think you know George, don't you, Olivia?
Yes. How do you do?
Hello. Delighted. How do you do?
And my niece, Lady Mary Denham.
How do you do?
We haven't met, have we?
No, I don't think...
My sister, Lady Clark Matthew, and her husband will also be joining us. I don't think you've met them, have you, Olivia?
No, I haven't.
Now, where is that bad girl? Late as usual, I suppose.
Marian?
Oh, she was still in the bath a few moments ago. I heard her singing.
Bad sign, then.
I called out the time. I don't think she heard.
Oh, she heard all right.
Dinner is served.
Oh, well, come along, my dear. Come along, Mary.
Don't worry, she'll be here. You're sitting next to me, by the way.
Thank goodness.
But I'm not sure what it is.
Bisque d'Ormand.
Oh.
It's something of a spécialité de la maison.
I don't know what we should do if Mrs. Braithwaite ever decided to leave us. I swear half our guests only come because of her cooking.
Nonsense, Lady Spencer. You know that's not true.
Rollo. The dogs are locked up in the library. It's nice and warm for them in there.
Thanks, Daddy.
It wasn't my fault, Mummy, honestly. Nanny would waffle on.
I say, this is most frightfully good, but what did you say it was again?
Bisque d'Ormand.
It's exciting to see Marigold again. I was afraid she might have changed, but she hasn't. Only grown more beautiful.
You think so? Such a funny little snouty face, isn't it? It's India rubbery.
Well, it depends what you like, I suppose. What you look for.
What do you like?
I like what's uncertain, what's imperfect. I like a face to warm up and expand and collapse and be different every day and night and from every angle and not to be above looking ugly or comic sometimes.
I see. It sounds interesting. Not awfully restful.
Salzburg. That's my favourite city in all Europe. I told Harry when we married that if he didn't take me to the festival every year, I would divorce him.
Yes, is your wife still as lovely as she used to be?
Nicola? I suppose she is. She hasn't altered much. It's a bore when people aren't strong.
Isn't she strong?
No, she's always having to take to her bed.
I'm so sorry. How wretched for you.
One's apt to feel such an insensitive brute, always being with a highly strung person.
I don't suppose for a moment you need to feel that.
Well, I don't know. I can't bear women to cry. I do deplore it.
Yes, it's a bad habit.
That's what I think. I want to rush off miles.
Perhaps I'm not much of a crier.
Are you a Puritan?
No.
Oh, yes, you did, George. It was quite audible. Never mind, we're all apt to drop off now and then as we grow older.
You don't give much away, do you? Wise woman.
No, I'm not that.
Oh, don't tell me there's nothing to give away.
It's just that my life's not peculiar, I don't mean, or mysterious. It's rather unexplainable.
Is it? Try.
I live with my cousin in a dreary corner of London you probably don't even know exists. I was married years ago. I'm really Mrs. Ivor Craig. It didn't work.
Bad luck.
Oh, no. Stupidity. Only myself to blame.
Don't do that. Don't blame yourself or anyone else. I never do. People do what they must.
Yes. I think that too.
Don't care much for sweets. Never did. I reserve my forces for the savoury.
Oh, yes, champignon au croûte.
Rollo, haven't you got a foul temper? Mummy's been saying we never quarrelled. I remember some perfectly ghastly fights, especially when Archie was staying with us.
How is Archie? I remember him so vividly.
Oh, a little older, dear, like all of us, but still the same Archie underneath.
Yes, I asked him why he never married. Women seem to find him so attractive.
So, you remember Cousin Archie, do you?
Oh, yes. I used to think him the beautifulest young man in the world.
When did you last see him?
At Marigold's coming-out party. I'm afraid he was rather drunk.
Was he a bore?
Oh, no. But it was a bit of a shock. It turned life suddenly into such a black problem. Too much to go through with, almost. Matter of fact, that's why I went out onto the terrace.
Where I also had gone for a breath of air. Very odd. Ever since then, I've wanted to see you again.
So have I.
Well, I think perhaps coffee for the ladies in the drawing room.
Mummy. Are you enjoying yourself?
Come along.
Yes, Rollo.
Yes, please. I will
Tell me something else. Shall we meet in London?
Yes.
Good. Now, ask me something. How's the dog?
Where's Lucy?
Asleep in the library, thank God. You've got that dog on your mind.
I noticed you seemed freer.
Much freer.
A photographer's studio, you say, Olivia? What interesting lives you modern girls do lead. So independent.
Well, I don't know about that, Lady Spencer. Anna's a close friend. I'm really only helping out.
And does your work keep you in London?
Yes. I live with my cousin Etty. But perhaps you remember her.
Etty, of course. I remember her. Such an attractive girl. She came to your coming-out dance, Marigold.
I thought she'd married. Oh, years ago now. Didn't it work out or something?
No. She never married. Not that she didn't have opportunities. She just never wanted to.
How sad.
I don't think so.
Well, surely every woman wants children, even in these dismal days.
Well, speaking as a grandmother...
Oh, Mummy, don't. You make me feel 100 when you talk like that.
I'm sure Lady Mary is right. I've never had children of my own, but my sister Kate...
Oh, yes. How is Kate? Such a shame she couldn't be with us. Is she happy?
Yes, I think she is. She's married to a doctor, a country practice, about 3 hours' drive from here.
And has she a family?
I should say so. She has 4.
Oh.
Beautifully spaced out.
4? Oh, the lucky thing. Well, I seem to have stopped at 3. I suppose the youngest, no more than a baby.
8 months.
Oh, 8 months, the lamb. How I do envy her. If only they'd stay wee and cuddly and never grow up. When I think of mine, the great long-legged things, I can't bear it.
Can't you really? I should have thought the only point about producing them was to encourage their growth. Or isn't it like gardening?
I don't think it's quite the same. Not for mothers, anyway.
Olivia, there's something I must show you. Will you excuse us, Mummy?
Oh, well, dear,
Mummy, I haven't seen Olivia in years. If I don't talk to her now,
Oh, very well, then, but don't be long. Your aunt and I rather fancied a game of backgammon.
Come along, Olivia.
If you're sure.
Off you go, dear. Otherwise, Marigold will accuse us of trying to monopolize you.
Excuse me. You shouldn't have winked at me like that. Lady Mary will think we're hatching some terrible plot.
Oh, let her think what she likes. She needs a bomb under her.
I'm sure she means well.
She doesn't mean well at all.
Do you really have something to show me?
In here. Come on. No one will think of looking for us in here.
Where are we?
It's called the telephone room. There, as you can see, it's used for a few other things as well. I keep my secret store of whiskey in here. It's supposed to be absolutely private, but I swear the servants use it. It has such an odd smell.
Yes, it is rather murky.
Oh, Olivia, all these years. Why haven't you looked me up in London? I do think you're a pig.
Well, I did write.
You haven't even met Sam. Not properly. My irresistible husband.
Is he irresistible?
Some women think so.
I read about you in the Tatler. Lord and Lady Britain and their 2 beautiful children. You're public property now.
Oh, that? I don't care a fig about all that.
The rest of us do. We envy you.
Well, you shouldn't. The truth is, we're absolutely bust, Sam and me. Have been for years. Sometimes I think it's all going to catch up with us. Yet we go on spending money like everyone else.
Not quite everyone.
Oh, Olivia, I'm sorry. How beastly of me. Are you terribly poor? Rollo did say...
I have to earn my living, if that's what you mean.
I don't think I'd mind being poor a bit.
I think you would, really.
No, honestly, I've thought about it a lot. I mean, if I was in love with a person saying he was terribly poor...
Marigold, what a daydream.
No, I mean it. You don't realise. It's just that most of the time one feels so empty. A sort of fraud. Oh, working for your living, that's real, isn't it?
No more real than anything else.
I thought having babies would solve things for me. I mean, you can't pretend about that, can you? No matter how easy it all seems in the beginning.
How strange she's become. A chameleon. There's something not quite right about her. She'll get bored with me soon. I've nothing to offer her.
At least I'm not a china doll. Like Nicola. I do enjoy my life.
She's something of an invalid, I gather.
Bunkum. She's no more of an invalid than you or me.
Well, not strong, then.
One miscarriage. Perfectly ordinary, no complications. 2 years ago it was. Rumour has it she still won't let Rollo near her. Witless ninny.
But they are together.
Oh, yes. You know Rollo. Loyal to the end.
Are you, Rollo?
Good old Rollo.
Have you just been flirting with me, then?
Marriage is the very devil, isn't it? Just too degrading for words.
Well, some are.
Well, not that I'd want to change anything, mind you.
Mine turned out to be a non-starter.
Oh, Olivia. Oh, darling, I'm so sorry. That was tactless of me.
It's all right, really. I don't mind.
I was only trying to say, well, you know, it's just a terrible gamble for everyone.
I expect it is.
Did you... I mean, was there someone else? Was that why you left your husband?
No, nothing so romantic. Ivor and I were just unsuited. We sort of drifted into marriage, then drifted out. There wasn't ever a moment when...
Well, I think you're awfully brave, really, I do. I'd never dare do anything so... Do you like jazz?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Rollo's idea, this. When it all gets too much for him, he locks himself in here and listens to records.
Won't they hear us?
It's a giddy throng, I doubt it.
You danced well.
Dance with me?
I'd much rather watch.
And George will. Won't you, George? He's not afraid.
I say, Rollo.
Hello.
Thought we might find you in here.
Marigold wanted to come.
Marigold's got what she wanted.
I didn't hear you come in.
It's getting to be something of a habit.
They dance well, don't they?
They've had lots of practice.
He doesn't remember me. The last time we met, he was obliged to correct me.
George? He's never spoken harshly to a woman in his life.
Oh, he wasn't harsh, just dumbfounded. You see, in those days, I knew nothing whatsoever about hunting. I called pink coats red coats.
Dance? Let's get away.
Get away? Do you want to?
No, never mind. Don't know what I'm talking about. Can't anyway.
I suppose not.
I want something. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it.
I expect you get most things you want.
It isn't exactly up to me.
I don't have any ties, if that's what you're asking.
You're lucky.
It doesn't always seem like that. It hasn't. In the past.
You know, considering the population of the world, it beats me how people do come across each other once in a blue moon.
Yes. It is rather amazing.
When you're ready, I'll drive you home. I've told Benson not to wait up.
So it's going to be true. I can't stop it.
Somebody's up late.
What?
Over there, the light burning.
Oh, yes, it's that blind chap. I forget his name.
Timmy.
Do you know him?
I danced with him at Marigold's party.
It's bad business. He was wounded in the war and now has consumption.
Oh, how awful. I didn't know. Will he get better?
I doubt it. Mummy wanted to send him to Switzerland, to sanatorium, but he wouldn't hear of it.
Doesn't he want to get well?
Would seem not. You have to ask Marigold. She sees more of him than the rest of us.
Marigold. He danced with her too, didn't he? He waited all evening. Is he still in love with her? I wonder.
All right.
If they could only see me. Sleeping eyes in shuttered houses. It's past midnight. I'm with Rollo Spencer. He's driving me home.
Next on the left, isn't it?
Yes, but don't drive in. Everyone will be asleep.
There.
Thank you so much for bringing me home. It was a lovely evening.
When shall I see you again?
When do you want to?
As soon as possible.
All right.
Do you want to see me again?
Yes.
You remember I said that I wanted something I wasn't sure I was going to get?
Yes, I remember.
Well, shall I?
Yes. At least if you're sure.
I'm sure. Do you think that you might be able to like me a bit?
Oh, yes.
Darling. You're so young. I've never known anyone like you before. You're like a young girl. What are you thinking?
Nothing. I can't think.
You're not afraid, are you?
No.
What then?
I suppose I just can't believe it.
You will soon. I promise you.
When did you think of this?
As soon as I saw you on the train. Just as I'd finished ordering the sausages. No. Before that, to be honest.
When?
The first time we met at that famous dance. I wanted to kiss you then, on the terrace.
I don't believe that for a moment.
I did. You looked so kind, and I don't know, sort of restful.
I must go now.
I'll need your address so that I can write to you. And if ever you want me, you can ring me at this number.
Your office?
Yes.
There's no way of knowing, is there, what's going to happen? Are you happy?
Of course I am.
I always meant to be happy. I always thought I would be, one day. Now I am.
I'm glad. Let's always be happy.
Yes.
Don't think you'll grow tired of me.
No, that's not possible. You'll get bored with me.
Yeah, now you're being silly.
Good night, Rollo.
Good night, darling. I'll write to you. Good night.
Rollo, my darling. Now I am back at the beginning. Now begins what I dreamed was to be. Rollo, I've never had a lover. I want you to know that. Not because I'm cold, but because it had to be love. After Ivor, that was failure enough. Do you understand? Everything has been because of you, Rollo. Everything.
Anything for me?
No. There's only one. It's from Kate.
Why did I do that? I didn't have to lie.
Darling, since the weekend I've been so happy. You were so sweet to me. How do you feel? I'll ring as soon as I can. Ah. Rollo. Rollo.
Everything all right?
Oh, yes. She got home safely. Polly has a touch of earache. Otherwise, all's well.
Polly's the baby, isn't she?
Yes.
Don't know how Kate does it.
She's the capable one, remember?
Listen, darling, moustache. You know what Jack's like. So importunate.
Poor Jack. Is he frightfully enamoured?
Well, he is being rather divine.
You shouldn't tease him.
I don't. I'll see you later, darling. Don't wait up. Bye.
Bye. You see, I don't mind. Not anymore. The winter streets, rain, wind, fog, the traffic sadness. It's not my life they're lamenting. My life is just beginning. Hello?
Olivia?
Olivia speaking.
Hello, this is Rollo. How are you?
I'm fine, Rollo. Thank you.
Got my letter?
Yes. It came by the last post yesterday.
Look here, what are you doing this evening?
Well, I was having dinner with some friends. Maybe going to a film.
See.
I could cancel.
Well, no, I've got to dine myself. Perhaps if you're not fixed up, we could meet afterwards, say around 10. We could have supper or something.
All right.
Shall I pick you up or somewhere? What?
Well, I don't know quite where I'll be. You see, I'll have dinner with my friends and then... I suppose I'll come back here.
Well, I'll call for you then.
All right.
10-ish? Fine?
Yes, that'll be fine. Goodbye, Rollo.
Bye, Olivia.
10 o'clock. That's in less than 12 hours. I don't feel anything, do I? Etty'll be out. I should be pleased. We'll have the flat to ourselves.
Look, I say it's crass irresponsibility. Any writer worth his salt, any artist at all for that matter, must
Colin...
take into account what's happening at this very moment all over Europe.
Don't bother.
The burning of the Reichstag was no isolated phenomenon. It simply polarised both sides into
but Colin, if what you're saying is true...
It's true and inevitable, my dear Hannah. Well, ask Olivia, she knows.
It does seem we will have to choose one day. If not for the Germans and the Italians, then at least for ourselves.
You believe what's being said, Olivia? About Hitler's persecution of the Jews?
I don't want to believe it, but
Oh, my God, now isn't that just like a woman? Look, we have refugees here in England, refugees from Hitler's Germany, more and more every day, and you don't want to believe in persecution?
I know what Olivia means. One doesn't like to feel helpless.
There's always Spain. If the war goes on, surely the choice there is clear.
No, it's as clear in Madrid as it is in Berlin and Rome.
They're right.
In Spain,
Simon,
you have an alliance
Colin,
between the Phalange and the
Anna,
Carlists.
serious,
That's not the end of the story.
good people.
Hitler, Mussolini, and
I
Franklin
love
form
this
the triumvirate
place.
of evil.
This room. It
Together,
lives.
they constitute the most
Not like
blatant
that
threat to
other,
the liberty of
the
Western Europe
frozen
since Attila and
palace.
Hun, and all we do in England is talk.
I agree with you. We can't stay on the sidelines forever.
Oughtn't we to be going? It's after 9.
Good God, so it is. Drink up, my friends. We can continue our discussion after the film.
You'll have to count me out, I'm afraid. Etty, my cousin, is in bed with a feverish cold. I promised I'd come back after dinner and look after her.
I thought she had a cast-iron constitution.
Not at this time of year.
Well, don't you go catching anything yourself, Olivia. I've done without you enough for 1 week.
I promise.
If I thought there was any hope, I'd try and persuade you to change your mind.
Olivia behaved like a cad. Not a chance.
10:30. Why doesn't he come? I should have gone with them. They're my friends. I've never lied to them before. It's him. Oh, God. Calm. I must be calm.
Hello? May I come in?
Yes, of course.
How are you? You're looking awfully well. I'm sorry I'm late. This part of London seems to be rather a maze. I've been up and down half a dozen streets trying to find you.
It is rather mythical. Every taxi's Waterloo.
That's very nice.
All Etty's, I'm afraid. My room's upstairs.
Etty's out, is she?
Yes. Would you like a cigarette?
Oh, have one of mine. Mass is on me.
Thank you.
Afraid it's rather a queer sort of time to call.
Not a bit. I've just got back.
But I had to dine with Marigold. Sam's away and I promised to do host.
I thought you looked rather...
Sorry about this. Hate formal clothes myself, but what can one do?
Last Sunday at Meldon. That was my first full dress affair for months.
Was it? Was it really?
What have you been doing since then?
Oh, nothing much, you know. What... Well, you know what London's like. In fact, I've had rather a full week.
Would you like a drink? There's not a lot of choice, but I can offer you...
Oh, no. Thanks, okay. Not just now.
How's Marigold?
Oh, gay as ever. They've gone on to some charity ball or other. I made my excuses. Can't stand these galas and festivals anymore.
Are you going to Meldon this weekend?
No, I think not. Nicola's gone to Cornwall, an extended stay. I might join her just for the weekend.
I see.
How about you? Going home?
I don't think so. Dad's much better. Sitting up now and eating normally. Mother thinks best if I come later in the month.
Oh, rapid recovery. I'm so glad.
It's no good. We're from different worlds. Strangers.
Look here. I came as soon as I could.
Yes.
Don't be frightened. You're glad to see me, aren't you?
Yes.
And what is it? What's wrong?
I don't know. It's this room.
Then we'll go to yours.
Wait here. I'll call. It's still not too late. I could stop it. I want him to see, to know how important. I must tell him, explain. I've never done this before. I don't know what's expected. My silk dressing gown. That's it. Then he won't look at... Would I be so nervous if we were married? I wonder.
I couldn't stay down there any longer. I knew you'd be beautiful. Strange. This place, I've never liked it, and now it seems I don't know. Exactly right. Are you hungry?
Ravenous.
Good. Then let's eat our way through the menu. Everything we want.
He's my lover, Rollo Spencer. I have a lover.
You are happy, aren't you, darling? No regrets?
I don't think I've ever been happy till now.
My God, I was nervous when I walked into your house tonight.
You didn't show it.
You were like a statue. I thought I'd never be able to bring you to life.
I was frightened then.
But not now.
No. Now I'm simply happy.
Are you ready to order now, sir?
Yes, thank you. I think the lamb chops, don't you, darling? With sausages thrown in for good measure.
Sausages. The supreme temptation.
Anything to drink, sir?
Darling?
Coffee, please. A large one.
And I'll have a lager.
Very good, sir.
I told you I'd hold you to it.
To what?
This cup of coffee.
Is that my shilling?
It is.
Do you mean to say you really kept it?
I did.
We didn't imagine this sort of cup of coffee, did we?
Oh, I did. I've got lots of imagination.
You're very businesslike. Do you always get on so swimmingly?
Don't say things like that, will you, darling? You don't know how proud I feel. I'm the luckiest man in the world. All the things I couldn't cope with. And now I've got you.
It had to happen, don't you think? We couldn't have prevented it.
Do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to take you shopping. Buy whatever you fancy. Jewellery, clothes. Will you let me do that one day?
No, Rollo. I don't want that.
Oh, why ever not? It would make me so happy.
I just don't want to, that's all.
You're such a frugal little thing, aren't you? I don't believe you ever spend money on yourself.
How do you know I didn't spend the entire afternoon wallowing in a beauty parlour?
Because you've no need to. You're beautiful anyway.
Chops and sausages, sir.
Darling, such blooms. Where did they materialise from?
You're not the only one with an admirer, you know.
Olivia, you sly thing. Is it the man with the gorgeous voice? If so, he's going to ring you later.
When did you speak to him?
While you were out. I must say he did sound divine.
Oh, you know what these married men are. They will have their little illusions.
Talking of which...
The egregious Jack.
Oh, I do feel bad leaving you alone all the time.
You mustn't worry. After all, I do have my roses.
Don't wait up for me, darling, will you? Jack insists on supper after the theatre. I'm afraid I'll be awfully late again.
Do you think she knows?
Etty?
I thought she might have recognised my voice. It was rather foolish of me.
Etty doesn't think about anything very much. You mustn't worry.
Well, no, it's just that I couldn't bear anything to be spoiled. The world's so bloody, isn't it? People are so suspicious. I don't want anyone, anything to hurt you.
Does it worry you, a deceit? It would me.
I don't honestly think that it does. What people don't know can't hurt them, can it?
Nicola, he doesn't want to hurt her. I know that. Though she's hurt him badly. It is difficult for you. I do see that.
Oh, darling. So understanding. You're the only woman in the world I know who doesn't go on about things.
Perhaps that's because you see so little of me.
Don't say that. You know I'd be here all the time if I could.
Rollo, if that were true, I only really see you when she's away. But I won't be jealous. She's your wife. But she's not real. Just a beautiful, protected doll. Shall I tell you what worries me? More than anything, really.
What's that?
Losing you.
I do wish you wouldn't say things like that. You know it's nonsense.
You don't understand. I don't mean that you might stop wanting to see me, though God knows that thought's terrible enough. What frightens me is that you might have an accident, be hurt, or even killed.
It's ridiculous.
They wouldn't let me see you. Don't you see? Nobody would know how I felt.
Darling, don't care too much about me, will you?
Don't you want me to love you?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do terribly. Only you mustn't sort of think too much about me. I'm not much good, and don't you forget it. I've never been any use to anyone.
If we were married, I might reform you.
Darling, you're the nicest person I've ever known.
It's a relief to see her behaving like a dog for once.
Don't be deceived. She may be the neurotic female on the surface, but underneath she's pure canine.
She still doesn't like me.
Oh, she's jealous. What do you expect?
I feel as if I'm playing truant, don't you?
Well, it's not for the first time.
What do you tell them at your office?
Well, it varies. Today, you're an out-of-town client. Bedridden, alas, quite unable to come to the office.
Rollo, you're terrible.
What do you tell Anna?
Oh, family excuses, you know. Kate coming up to town, Mother having a day in the shops.
I wish we had a place of our own. Flat.
No. That would make it... It would spoil it.
Don't you want us to make love?
But we do.
Only when Etty's out.
Oh, darling. Don't look so miserable. Anyone would think you were any interested in me.
Don't say that. You know it's not true. By the way, happy birthday.
How did you know?
I cheated, never mind how. Well, aren't you going to open it?
Rollo,
Don't you like it?
an emerald.
Yes. My favourite stone. I did so want to give you one. I hope you don't mind.
Mind? Oh, God. I don't know what to say. It's not my kind of ring at all. Emeralds are vernicular. Marigold. It's beautiful, Rollo. It must have cost a fortune.
There's this, too. Just a little thing. I think it's Victorian. Don't know why. I thought it looked like you.
Darling, it's perfect.
A peridot surrounded by pearls.
I love it. I shall wear it always.
Does look rather nice, doesn't it?
Our ring. The other I'll wear on grand occasions when you want to flaunt me. But this is special. I shall never take it off.
That was a near thing.
She didn't see you.
I don't think so.
I can just hear her. Darling, whose plutocratic auto? Perhaps you ought to park round the corner.
I am glad to see you. I've missed you.
Did you have a good weekend?
Bracing. I think that's the word. Wiltshire in winter is the best tonic I know for jaded city men.
Did Nicola...
No. She's with her mother. As a matter of fact, she's off to Switzerland next week, some new doctor she's read about.
I see.
I thought perhaps that, well, if you're not fixed up, we might have a weekend away, drive down to the coast. That's if you'd like to.
Rollo.
Well, you weren't planning to go home?
No. I went last weekend, while you were in Wiltshire.
And it's all right?
Sounds marvellous. Darling, come and look at this stone. It's beautiful.
Haven't you got enough?
There's the peridot, you see, and the circle of pearls. Just like our ring.
Isn't like it at all. But I love you for saying it.
I shall start a collection. Shells and pebbles from the beaches of Dorset.
Not cold?
Not now.
Beautiful, isn't it, even in winter?
Especially in winter.
It was dark. Do you think we should press on?
I don't want it to end.
It's only just beginning. Well, what do you think?
It looks rather grand.
Well, the food's good. I checked. No, I don't think we'll have any trouble getting a room, not at this time of year.
All right.
Come on, then. Let's hang up our hats. I'm ravenous. Good evening. I'd like a double room, please, just for the night.
With bath, sir?
Yes, certainly. Overlooking the sea, if you can manage it.
Very good, sir.
There you are, darling. What did I tell you?
Do you always manage things so swimmingly?
Only when you're with me. You bring me luck. I'd better see to the car. Why don't you wait here? Only be a minute.
All right. Don't be long.
Back in a moment.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes?
The register? I wonder if you'd mind signing it. It'll save troubling your husband later.
Oh, yes, of course. My husband? I can't. Mustn't write Spencer. Someone might recognise. God. I can't think.
Thank you, Mrs. Spender. The porter will show you to your room when you're ready.
I don't know what came over me.
No, it was my fault. I should have signed when I booked the room.
I knew it had to begin with S, the initials on your bag.
Oh, you are a clever girl. You know, I'd probably put Brown or Smith or something.
Well, Smith would have been better. How did you get on? Did you run into anyone?
No, Faith, and I did. Big stiff called Podge Hayward. We were at Santa's.
But I know him. He's a friend of Etty's. Did you speak to him?
Well, no, thank God. He had a redhead in tow, hot little number by the look of her. Something told me he didn't want to be recognised any more than I did.
Where is he now?
I drove off like a scalded cat.
How awful.
You're bound to happen sooner or later.
Is that what they say about me, his friends? That I'm a hot little number?
Come on, darling, cheer up. Mustn't take things to heart.
Who do you say you're with when you come to see me? What do you tell Nicola?
Oh, really, darling, does it matter?
I want to know.
Well, usually I say I'm going to the club. If not, George will always provide an alibi.
George?
Well, there's no need to look so shocked. It would never occur to George to wonder what I was up to. Come on, we need a drink.
I'll have to change my dress.
Well, in that case, I'll wait for you downstairs.
Please yourself.
If I stay here while you're changing, we'll miss dinner.
Oh, dear. That would never do, would it? Think of the disappointment in the kitchen. The two best customers in the hotel not even bothering to come downstairs.
Don't you be long now.
And don't you drink too many brandies.
All right. Are you happy, darling?
It's been the most beautiful day of my life. I can't quite believe it.
We'll do it again. Oh, I don't see why not. Nicola's away till the end of the month. Why shouldn't we enjoy ourselves?
You know what I'd like? More than anything else in the world.
What's that?
It would make this day, the happiness, immortal.
Then you must have it.
Your child. I'd like to have your child. What's wrong?
Wouldn't do, would it, darling? Sorry, honey, darling. Damned rain.
What happened?
Here, let me. Thank God we arranged to meet at Paddington. At least you were out of the storm.
It didn't seem so bad earlier.
You'd think people would make allowances, wouldn't you? Cars slewed all over the place.
Where are we going?
As far out of London as possible.
I thought perhaps the Cotswolds.
Good idea. Maybe we can escape this infernal rain. Just have to make the best of it, I'm afraid.
Have you ever seen such weather? It's like driving through thick soup.
Should we call it a day?
Doesn't seem much point in going on, does there?
Well, I don't know. We don't usually let rooms this time of year.
My wife and I would be most grateful.
You could have the front bedroom, I suppose.
Thank you. That's most kind of you.
You'd be wanting anything to eat?
Well, if it's not too much trouble, you see, we'd rather hope to be in Gloucester by this evening.
Oh, you'll be lucky. Right, this lot's coming down.
Darling, I'm so sorry I got inveigled into a game of darts.
It's all right.
Oh, Lord, is that bed as awful as it looked?
If you don't mind damp twill.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did so want this weekend to be special.
Nicola's due home next week, isn't she?
Yes.
Then I don't expect I'll see you.
What do you mean? Of course you'll see me.
Snatched meeting? Once a week?
Olivia? What's the matter? You're not going to cry, are you?
Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I cry? I have feelings too. If you knew what it's like for me these last few weeks with her away. And now you expect me just to go back?
Stop! Please, stop!
I love you, don't you understand?
God, I must have been very blind. I had no idea you weren't happy.
I am. At least sometimes.
Why didn't you tell me all this before?
I didn't know how I felt.
You know what my life is.
Yes.
I'm married.
Yes, you're married.
I can't hurt her.
No.
Whatever happens, so long as she wants me to stay, I couldn't leave her.
She does want you to stay, then?
Yes, she does.
You love her?
Yes, I love her.
Although she doesn't... Although it doesn't
No. Doesn't work very well. Listen, Olivia. I can't change anything. I can't change myself. I can't shatter her. I thought you understood.
I suppose I did. One doesn't think. Tries not to.
I love you, Olivia. I expect I always shall. If it's worth it at all for you, don't quite leave me.
Perhaps when we're very old, we can be together.
On my 70th birthday, we'll have a night together for old time's sake. Is it a date?
Rollo.
What do you say? We could spend the night in Oxford, or shall we press on?
I did rather promise I'd be back.
Yes, of course.
Simon's parties are almost mythical. You feel it might be bad luck not to go.
I'm sure you'll have a very jolly time.
This one's on rather a grand scale. It's in honour of Jocelyn.
Yes, you've told me.
I do wish you'd come.
Now, what on earth would I want to do that for? I'd be like a fish out of water.
Simon's world is larger than you think. Half of Mayfair will be there. What will you do?
Listen, that. I'll be at home all evening. You could call in on me after the party.
Oh, I
have to stay up very late anyway. There are quite a few things that I should...
Oh, but I couldn't. I mean...
If you can drag yourself away from your friends, I'd very much like to see you.
Beginning to think you weren't coming.
You look lovely.
Do I? So do you.
Where's Simon? I've been looking for him everywhere.
Oh, don't talk to me about Simon. I don't think he's even noticed I'm here.
Anna, that's nonsense. It's as much your party as his.
Oh, perhaps that's what's wrong. We're interchangeable. He's so busy making everyone else feel special.
Olivia, I've been looking for you. Well, how have you been?
Hello, Colin. You look festive.
Yes, been telling Adrian. I don't think he believes me.
Telling him what?
Oh, the oak trees are cut away by the salt tide. Seaweed grows right in under the cabbage, under the cornfields. It's significant, that. It's a symbol.
I see.
Yes, I don't think Anna does, though. She doesn't understand either. Not literally, you see, like you and me.
I'll leave you to him. Good luck.
Oh, women know nothing.
I know about symbols.
Oh, you know nothing. If you did, you'd understand.
Understand what?
Relationship. Sex and life and, well, more than fundamental, it's pervasive.
Oh, Colin, if only you knew.
Oh, I could explain, but, well, you're a woman. You'd be bored.
Colin, I'm in love. Why is it all so depressing? Half of them are drunk. Those who aren't wish they were. I shouldn't have come.
Found you at last! The beautiful virgin.
My white dress.
Is it new?
Acquired. My sister Kate gave it to me.
We thought you weren't coming.
Simon, when have I ever missed one of your parties?
Well, you have been rather mysterious of late.
It's the long nights. They make me broody.
Haven't fallen in love, have you?
What makes you say that?
You glow. It's positively indecent.
Rude health, that's all it is. I've discovered I have an appetite.
Well, don't lose it. It suits you.
Simon?
Yes, my dear?
Is Anna... Is she all right?
As far as I know, why?
I just thought that
She's worried about the studio closing, but then you know all about that.
Yes. She wanted me to have plenty of notice.
Could be a blessing in disguise for both of you. You can start writing those stories you keep talking about, and Anna can get back to her painting. She's dabbled in photography long enough.
Yes, but how will she live?
Like the rest of us, from day to day.
Is it that bad?
I think so. Everything's changing, disintegrating. Don't you feel it? We're a generation without guarantees. The future's unrecognizable.
You sound quite tearful about it.
I'm not afraid of it. There's an awful lot of dross to be got rid of, you know.
Simon, there's something...
Oh, God, it's Cora Maxwell.
Is she drunk?
Drunk and bleeding by the look of her. I'd better go.
Oh, can I help?
No, thank you. If you see Anna...
Dear Simon, even you can be blind. Can't you see what's happening to Anna? To me? My God, Marigold, what on earth is she doing here?
It simply won't do, Olivia. You've been ignoring me all evening.
But I didn't even know.
As for that rotter Desmond Fellows...
You know Desmond?
I came with him.
Marigold, you're amazing.
He's not at all pleased with me. Got the sulks.
What did you do to him?
Told him I thought his review of Jocelyn's book was a disgrace, should never be published.
You know Jocelyn Forsyth too.
Greatest writer of the decade. I told him. Dismal Desmond. He didn't like it. Had the effrontery to suggest I hadn't read the book.
Where's Sam?
Sam?
Your husband.
Oh, Sam. Sam's away. Where is he? Scotland. That's it. Shooting party. Melancholy Scotch cousins. Couldn't face it this year. Sam understands.
Are you all right?
Oh, absolutely. Having a wonderful time. I say, you must come to dinner. Why don't you? You and Rollo. Rollo's always had a soft spot for you to cheer him up.
Why? Is he miserable?
That cow of a wife. Oops. Don't mean to be impolite. She's away again. Switzerland. Sometimes I wish it...
Someone's looking for you.
Where? Can't see. Why does everyone look the same?
Over there in the corner. It's Desmond. He does look rather woebegone.
Oh dear, I am a beast. Shall I go and kiss him better? Shall I, Olivia?
Well, if you don't, I think he might cry all over Jocelyn. I'm sure you don't want that.
No, poor old Desmond. Good old Desmond.
You see, Rollo? Our worlds do touch. If only because of Marigold. What would she say, I wonder, if she knew? I should never have come. He probably didn't even mean it. The light's on. That's something. If I lean over, I can see... Oh, thank God.
Darling, I do so want to get to you.
I had to come.
I couldn't have borne it if you hadn't. Come and sit by the fire. Can I get you anything? Drink? Cigarettes?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm fine now.
How was the party?
Awful. I hated it. Colin was being squawky and Anna looked sad. As for Simon...
I expect you weren't in a party mood.
Fact is, people shouldn't go to parties when they're in love. Makes them feel awfully superior.
Is that how you felt?
I think Simon noticed it.
You haven't told him?
I haven't told anyone.
I don't know what I'd have done if you hadn't come.
I nearly didn't. Then I ran into Marigold.
Marigold?
Seems she's quite a friend of Jocelyn Forsyth.
Who's he?
The novelist. The party was for him, if you remember. His new book.
She's supposed to be in Scotland.
She's invited us to dinner. You and me. She has this idea I might cheer you up.
Oh, the devil she has.
You don't think she's guessed?
Oh, no. How could she? We've been so careful.
Rollo, I don't want to stay. Not here.
Well, there's nothing to worry about. The servants went to bed hours ago.
I shouldn't have come.
I'd have been very miserable if you hadn't.
Will you call me a taxi?
Oh, can't you stay just a little longer?
Please, Rollo.
What? I'm coming with you.
There's no need, really. Etty's home.
I know that.
Rollo.
I do love you, Olivia. You do believe that, don't you?
Yes.
You mustn't think it's only making love. That's all it is for me. You don't think that, do you?
No. Not anymore.
Then what is it?
You'll be angry with me.
I do wish you wouldn't talk like that.
You and Nicola. I know you love her. I'm not asking. Since last night, our talk, I'm not jealous anymore. And I'm happy. Really, I am. But I have to know if you and she ever... nowadays...
No.
Forgive me. I should never have asked.
It's all right. You see, you've nothing to be jealous of.
I love you.
I told you I was no use, Olivia. A selfish swine, in fact. You should have a home. Children. I just get in the way of that. But I'm no good at being noble and unselfish. I love you. For what it's worth. I want you for myself.
First of two plays, adapted by Elspeth Sands from Rosamond Lehmann's novel, The Weather in the Streets. Angela Pleasence played the part of Olivia, and Simon Cadell, Rollo. Lady Spencer, Maxine Audley. Sir John Franklyn-Robbins. Marigold, Valerie Saroof. Lady Mary, Dolly Cockerell. George, Peter Wickham. Kate, Marian Diamond. Mrs. Curtis, Monica Gray. Etty, Rosalind Ayres. Anna, Susan Engel. Simon, Jonathan Newth. Colin, Sylvester Morand. With Bruce Purchase, Michael McStay, and Philip Fox. The music was arranged and directed by Mike Steer. The play was directed by Jane Morgan. The Weather in the Streets, the second of two plays adapted by Elspeth Sands from the novel by Rosamond Lehmann, with Angela Pleasence and Simon Cadell.
Hello?
Hello, darling. I hoped you'd be in.
Rollo, is something wrong?
Just because I ring you on a beautiful spring morning.
I thought perhaps you couldn't make lunch.
Oh, darling, now, when have I ever missed one of our lunches? I look forward to them all week.
Then why did you ring?
Impulse. I wonder what you were doing.
If you must know, I was about to have a bath.
Your secret passion. I wish I was there.
Are you ringing from the office?
No, home. Everybody's out.
I'll see you at lunch then.
Right here.
1 o'clock.
Usual time, usual place.
What are you doing after lunch? Do you have to go straight back to the office?
No, I have an appointment before. But...
Good. Because I want to show you something. It's a surprise.
Oh, what does the surprise involve?
A short journey in the car. It won't take long.
I am intrigued.
I hope you'll be more than that when you see what it is. Goodbye, Rollo.
Bye, Olivia.
Poor darling. He's bored. Needs distracting. Can't be much fun for him, dancing attendance on an invalid wife. But I'll cheer him up. I always do.
Whose place is this? It's not yours, is it? I thought you said
It
you never...
belongs to Jocelyn. He's letting me use it while he's away. I'm to be a sort of caretaker.
You'll be living here on your own.
It was Jocelyn's idea. He thought it would help me to get on with my writing.
Thoughtful of him.
He doesn't know anything about us. No one does. It's just that, well, now that the studio's closed and Anna's gone back to her painting, it's more or less expected I'll take up writing again.
How long will he be away?
Oh, ages. Till the end of the summer, probably.
Where's he gone?
Austria. His new novel's set there. He asked me to go out and join him later. The idea is we could both write.
I see.
Darling, what is it? Don't you like the place?
Oh, why shouldn't I? It's perfect for our requirements.
Then what's wrong?
Seems your friends care more for your happiness than I do.
Rollo, that's nonsense.
Now, they can offer you more. You should do better to marry one of them. And what about that Simon you're always talking about?
I don't talk about Simon. And I only agreed to look after this place because of us. So that we could be together.
I know, and I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm being beastly. Yes, I'm thrilled about it, really, darling. I don't know what got into me.
It is a little bleak, I suppose.
Oh, well, we'll soon cheer it up.
Strange. Writers never seem to care about their surroundings.
Well, not this writer, anyway.
He's against possessions, you see. It's part of his view of life.
Why Austria? Any particular reason?
Oh, he has friends there. Not people you'd approve of.
Mm-hmm.
They suffered rather dreadfully in the Vienna uprising.
Oh, well, I expect he knows what he's doing.
When shall I see you?
Let me see. I can't manage tonight. How about Sunday? I should be able to get away in the evening for a bit.
I'll cook supper.
What a cosy idea.
You are pleased, aren't you, darling? It does make things easier.
My darling. It's the nicest surprise I've had since bumping into you on the train. Darling, that was magnificent. Even better than last time.
Well, when a lady has so many delicacies delivered to her front door, she has to be able to put on a bit of a show.
Oh, you can't get out of it that way. You're a superb cook. However you try and explain it.
Nevertheless, it was a lovely thing to do, Rollo. Thank you.
I do wish you'd let me do more. Oh, it seems so little.
I wouldn't call a Fortnum's hamper little.
You know what I mean?
You're not still fretting about that, are you?
No, of course not. I just wish it really was our place. Nothing to do with your friend Jocelyn. Not that I'm ungrateful. Hey.
Thank you. You don't have to rush off, do you?
I'm afraid I do rather, darling. It's a bore.
What is it this time?
Nicola wants me to help entertain an old girlfriend of hers. First time she's felt like doing anything for ages.
I see.
Well, it'd be churlish of me not to show some interest.
Yes, I suppose it would.
I'll try and come round tomorrow. I have a business to in the evening, but I think I could get away after that.
Well, don't worry. If it's too difficult. He's not going to come, is he? He's gone back to Nicola. Why do I think about her all the time? She never used to worry me. It's him, isn't it? He's changed. Something's happened. I can feel it. Ever since I moved in here. Oh, that's nonsense. I won't think about it. I must pull myself together. Do some work. Truth is, I hate living on my own. That's something neither of us thought of.
Olivia, how nice.
I'm not disturbing you, am I, Simon?
Of course not. Come in. Come in. My dear, what is it? You look quite knocked up.
This room, it always takes my breath away.
Does it? Let me get you some coffee.
No, not coffee.
Something is wrong. Is it your work?
How do you do it, Simon? What's your secret?
Now you're being mysterious.
You don't seem to suffer like the rest of us.
Don't I?
Your paintings. They're somehow removed from everything. Yet they're all embracing. It's as if a magnetic current flowed from you to the canvas and somehow magically flowed back to us. I'm not expressing myself very well.
On the contrary, I'm flattered that you feel there's enough there to... well, for you to react to. It doesn't always seem that way to me.
I believe you know how to be happy. That's what I see in your paintings.
Knowing how to be happy is not the same thing as being happy.
I know.
Is that what's troubling you?
No, not exactly. You see...
Dear Olivia, I'm listening.
Most of us think we know what we need to be happy. Then when we get it...
Perhaps you should stop trying so hard.
Compromise?
That word. How I do dislike it. It suggests, I don't know, a fall from grace.
So what do I do?
Live. It's really quite simple. Think of life as a series of moments strung together like beads. You may not see any pattern, any design, but in the end you have a beautiful necklace. A treasure to be stored up against the long darkness. It's not such a bad thing when you think about it.
Simon, you're a magician. You always know what to say. I knew you'd make me feel better. Oh dear, I've eaten too much.
Oh, it was rather a spread, wasn't it?
I swear I eat more on Mondays and Thursdays than all the other days of the week put together. I'll end up enormous.
Oh, darling, that I cannot imagine.
I'm sure I've put on weight.
Only in the right places, darling.
Why are we stopping? It's another 2 streets yet.
Back in a moment.
Rollo, I love you so much. What's going to happen to us? Damn Nicola. Why did she have to choose now to stage a recovery? It's so unfair. If he was half as considerate of me as he is of her. Darling, what glorious lilies.
I couldn't resist them.
They're beautiful. Jocelyn's studio will glow. Is the lilac for me, too?
Nicola asked me to pick some up on the way home. She wants to do the house knit for a family gathering tonight.
I see. Does that mean you won't be coming round this evening?
Oh, darling, I did explain. My parents are up.
Of course. How stupid of me. Your father's to see another specialist, isn't he? I do hope it goes well.
Thank you. We are rather pinning our hopes on this one.
When shall I see you, then?
Well, I'm a bit busy for the next day or two. I should be able to manage Friday, though.
Friday? My sister Kate's coming that day, staying overnight. I think she's curious just to see how I fill my days. And the truth is, I don't fill them at all. I can't work. Can't sleep unless I know for certain Rollo's not coming. I'm no use to anyone. I sometimes wish we had never met.
Oh, Etty, it is good to be back.
I don't know how you stood it so long, locked up in that dreary sepulchre.
Etty, would you do something for me if it's not too much trouble?
I'm yours to command.
I was supposed to be having lunch with Rollo Spencer today. It was arranged ages ago. Do you think you could ring his office? Make some excuse. I just don't feel like going anywhere today.
Of course, darling, I'll do it right away. But how sad to miss such a glamorous event. From all I hear, Rollo Spencer is quite the heartbreaker.
Oh, is he? I wouldn't have thought.
Well, he's not my type either. But they say Ayres Mountford was terribly smitten. Had to go round the world twice to help her forget him.
Poor old Ayres.
His office is in the city somewhere, isn't it?
Yes, I think it's called Brownlow and Sandilands, something like that.
Consider it done. And don't worry, I'll let the poor man down gently.
Thank you for the champagne.
Darling, I ordered it the moment I got Etty's message.
Oh, dear. I'm afraid you've been very much misled. There's nothing the matter with me. I'm just tired, that's all.
I should have noticed. Taken more care of you, I'm sorry.
How's Nicola?
Oh, rather low again. A brief burst of energy seems to have come to an end.
I'm sorry.
She plans to go down to her mother's.
Are your parents still with you?
No. They went back to Melbourne at the weekend.
How is your father? Was the specialist able to help?
Not a lot, I'm afraid. He more or less confirmed what the other doctors said. Came as something of a blow, although Mummy rallied magnificently, as usual. I'm sure Daddy hasn't any idea.
I remember the moment I realized my father wasn't going to get any better. It was my first visit home after we became lovers. I don't know why, but I felt it as soon as I entered the house. There just wasn't going to be any improvement. Ever.
Goes against the grain, rather, doesn't it? Accepting the inevitable.
What upsets me is the feeling I'd never quite got the measure of him.
I used to see your father when I was out riding. We got on rather well.
We had a dog once, a Pekingese, bad-tempered little beast. Dad was as soft-hearted over her as you are over Lucy.
Darling Olivia, I do so love talking to you. Almost as much as the other things we do.
I'm sorry the studio didn't work out.
Oh, no, it was my fault.
I could go back.
Well, darling, the thing is, you might find it rather lonely. You see, I've got to go away for a little while. No, it's not for long, a business trip. 2 months at the most.
Where are you going?
America. It's awful bore, I know, but there it is. One of the partners has to go, and it's more or less my turn.
Is Nicola going with you?
No, she doesn't feel up to it. Atlantic crossings can be rather tricky at this time of year.
When do you leave?
Well, that's just it, darling. I didn't want to tell you until the last moment, and then I got Etty's message.
Were you afraid I might make a scene?
Of course not, darling. You're the only woman I know who doesn't boo-hoo over every damn thing. I just didn't want you to fret.
When do you leave?
I sail the day after tomorrow.
Will I see you before you go?
Well, darling, that might be a little difficult.
Nicola?
Well, it is my last night. I don't want to hurt her.
No, of course not.
Will you write to me? I do so love your letters.
Where do I write?
Look, I've written it all down. Addresses and dates.
I'll write every day.
Darling, I shall miss you.
I'll miss you too.
Take care of yourself, won't you?
Don't worry.
What'll you do?
I don't know. I may join Anna in the country. She's invited me often enough.
She's living near Oxford now, isn't she?
Yes, in Simon's house.
You would get on with your writing.
Yes.
You're beautiful. And I love you.
And I love you.
I wish that things could be different.
You'd better go now, before I boo-hoo all over your lovely jacket.
Hyde Park 6529.
Oh, good morning. I wondered, could I speak to Mr. Spencer, please?
I'm sorry, madam. Mr. Spencer left for the United States of America 20 minutes ago. Mrs. Spencer has accompanied him to Southampton, but will be back tonight. Would you care to leave a message?
Oh, no, thank you. It's not important. Thank you very much. God, why did I do that? It's only made it worse. Rollo, darling, I'll never complain again. Never. Just so long as I can see you.
How's it going?
It's not. Every sentence stares at me like an accusation.
Perhaps you're trying to do too much.
Maybe. I don't know.
Olivia?
Yes?
You're all right, are you? You're not in any kind of difficulty.
Difficulty?
It's just that you haven't seemed yourself for so long now.
You're right. And I didn't really expect you not to notice.
I just wondered if there was anything I could do to help.
No, bless you, Anna. But there's nothing anyone can do.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yes. Oh, yes. If you knew how I'd longed to talk to you these past weeks. It's been so peaceful here with you, but it's been such a nightmare, too.
Tell me about it.
It's an old story, and you've probably guessed most of it already.
You say he's due back in England next month?
Yes. In his last letter, he said probably July the 12th or 13th.
What will you do?
I don't know. Wait for him to contact me, I suppose.
This wife of his...
It's no good, Anna. He won't leave her. He's not the type.
But it's not a marriage.
No.
Well, whatever happens, you can always come here. That goes without saying.
Dear Anna.
It's good for me too, you know. It stops me brooding.
Have you heard from Simon?
Not for a while. France is his true home. He works so hard, he forgets everything. Everyone. I may go out there later.
Oh, Anna, I think you should. It would do you good.
Well, we'll see.
I'd thought of going to Europe myself, if I can raise the money.
Come with me. Why don't you? You always bring out the best in Simon.
I'm afraid I'm not much use to anyone in my present state. I sometimes wish...
What?
I'd like to do something definite with my life. Not be forever at the mercy of my emotions. The burden's too heavy, Anna. I don't feel the joy anymore. It's been crushed under the weight.
It won't always be like this. And you will do something with your life. I'm sure of that. Remember, nothing stays the same. Neither pain nor joy.
How strange it is. June night, sharp with frost. Something's wrong with the world. Rollo, where are you? Don't you feel it too? They say people felt like this before the war broke out, as if something out there was threatening them. Rollo, it would be so easy for you to betray me. Is that why I feel threatened?
Olivia? Olivia! Telegram for you.
Oh, God, not Dad. Please don't let it be Dad.
It's just come. The boy from the village brought it up. What is it? Not bad news, I hope.
It's Rollo. He wants me to meet him in Oxford on Friday.
Olivia, I'm so happy for you. You must bring him back here. Colin and the others will be down that day. I'll take them all off to the river. You can have the cottage to yourselves.
Darling, it is nice to be back. I have missed you.
I was so nervous today, waiting for you in Oxford. I thought you were never going to arrive.
I'm sorry you had to wait. It was sheer hell getting out of London.
I was afraid you might have changed. Met someone else.
Now, why should I want to do that?
It happens. You can't tell me you didn't have opportunities. All those gorgeous American girls who wrote to me about.
Well, there were one or two temptations.
There. What did I tell you?
Darling. But no one to hold a candle to you. Besides, I was too busy. It was a business trip, remember?
You will stay and meet the others, won't you? You don't have to rush back.
Well, if you'd like me to. I mean, I'm not used to mixing with such rarefied company. What on earth will I talk to them about?
Hello. You do have the funniest ideas. They're my friends, and not a pack of wolves intent on devouring you.
Wonderful, marvelous, you should care for me. So nice, it's paradise, it's what I love to see. You make my life so glamorous. You can't blame me for feeling amorous. So it's wonderful, it's marvelous that you should care for me.
It's absolutely splendid. It's marvellous, Anna.
Hey, did you see that? A shooting star. Now, that means something.
It means, my dear Colin, you've had too much gin.
No nonsense. I saw it plain as day. If the rest of you weren't so comatose, you'd have seen it too.
Oh, then tell us what it means. You will, anyway.
It's a symbol. No, it's not that. No, it's more than that. It has a mystic significance. Did you notice those children paddling this afternoon along from us? How they were significant. As I watched them, I thought, any moment now I'm going to grasp what's going on behind the scenes. I'm going to understand what our part is in this cosmic scheme. Oh, it's the first sign of madness when every object takes on a hidden significance. Oh, I find it very painful.
Do you know what might make it a little less painful?
What?
Another drink.
Well, I don't mind if I do.
Something wild and passionate. Otherwise, Colin's going to infect us all with his melancholy.
Oh, leave you dance. I'm too young to play and be listened to.
Then let's dance!
We shall.
Must be easy.
Oh, darling. Darling, I have enjoyed myself.
You sure you're all right to drive?
Never better. Your coffee has cleared my head most beautifully.
When shall I see you?
No, I shall be able to get down next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll let you know.
You wouldn't rather I came up to town?
Oh, no, darling, I wouldn't dream of it. The thought of you down here will sustain me, and London's perfectly beastly in the heat.
But we see so little of each other.
Oh, I know, darling, and I miss you too. But it's better this way. You're with friends, and...
They all go back tomorrow. Except Anna, of course.
No, I'll write to you. I know my letters aren't up to much.
I'm glad you had a good time.
I liked your friend Colin. Colourful character.
He liked you, too.
Did he?
Very much.
Did he?
He looked quite crestfallen when you said you had to go.
What's he do for a crust?
Oh, he's done just about everything. Journalism, teaching, translating, market gardening. At the moment he's studying nervous diseases.
My lord, versatile chap.
Yes, I suppose he is.
Too much in the brain pan, I expect. Can't settle down.
It's so easy for you, isn't it? You're not really interested in other people. But Colin's my friend. I wonder how I'd feel if I weren't in love with you.
Darling, you better go back in. They'll be wondering what we're doing out here.
They're far too drunk.
Good night, my darling. I'll let you know which day next week. Hello. May I come in?
Yes. You certainly know how to take people by surprise.
Hello, Anna.
We were wondering what had happened to you.
Well, I've been deuced busy.
Do sit down.
Thank you.
We were just going to have supper.
Now I did think of that. Will this help?
A game pie. Marvellous.
You planned this, you must.
No, upon my honour. I just stopped at Jackson's on my way up from the city.
It makes my humble stew look very humble.
And I thought a nice bottle of hock to go with it.
What could be better?
Shall I? You must have a lot to talk about.
No. Why don't we all muck in? Your kitchen's a jolly place.
Rollo, what's got into you? You've never shown any interest in kitchens before.
My darling. Shows how little you really know me.
Rollo, that was splendid. A feast for a king.
I still wish Olivia had allowed me some of her stew. She's a capital little cook.
Well, now I'm going to leave you two. I have some work to do.
Where are you going to let me see some of those paintings of yours?
Oh, well, I can afford to charge a great deal of money for them. Good night.
Good night, Anna.
Good night, Anna.
My darling, I swear if I weren't so much in love with you...
Darling, you're incorrigible. You flirt with everyone.
Are you glad I came?
What do you think?
I just couldn't bear it a moment longer. The thought of you down here, cool as a cucumber.
Oh, is that the only reason you came? To cool off?
Hardly.
Can you say? It's all right. Anna knows.
Yes, I rather thought she must.
You don't mind?
I don't mind about anything anymore, except being with you.
Anna's off to France next week to see Simon. I thought... I don't really want to be here on my own. I thought I might come back to London.
Well, you must do what you think best.
Oh, God. Why do you always say that?
Olivia, what is it? What have I said?
I don't see you for days on end. Then you turn up out of the blue and tell me I must do what I think best. Don't you understand anything?
Darling Di, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you.
No. You never do mean to upset me. I dare say you never mean to upset anyone.
You know, if I lived here with you, I don't think I'd ever want to go anywhere.
You'd soon grow tired of me.
No. If anything, you know, it'd be the other way round.
I'm sorry I flew at you. I expect it's the heat.
Come away with me, Olivia. I'm sick and tired of... I want you to be there in the morning when I wake up. I need you.
Where could we go?
Oh, I don't know. Europe, anywhere you choose. We could go to Europe.
Are you serious?
Never more serious in my life.
But what about Nicola?
Oh, she's going down to her mother. We'd arranged to go to Ireland, but with this heat, she doesn't think she can face the journey.
I see.
Come with me. Please, Olivia. We could go to Vienna. We could drive up somewhere into the mountains. What do you say? There's nothing to stop you, is there?
Shouldn't you go with Nicola?
Yes. Yes, I should. But I'm damned if I'm going to. More wine, darling?
No. If I drink any more, I'll float off into the sky. Then you won't be able to distinguish me from all those millions of stars.
Is it my imagination, or are they particularly bright tonight?
They've put on a special show. It's for our benefit. Everything is for our benefit.
We're the only ones left. Everyone else seems to have gone to bed.
No stamina. That's the trouble with tourists.
They're not in love like us. They need their 8 hours sleep.
Those poor musicians. They're dropping off.
Listen, Olivia.
Yes?
Let's not go back to England. Why should we ever go back? I don't want anybody but you. Not anymore. Just let's go on being together anywhere. Round the world, if you like. There'll never be anything as good as this again. Why should we end it?
Rollo, you really do love me. I believe it now. I've won, haven't I?
You can do anything with me. You've only got to say, I trust you, Olivia. You choose. You tell me what to do.
I've won.
Tell me, Olivia.
Let's not talk about it tonight. Let's go to Salzburg first.
No. Don't let's go. I don't want to. I don't want to be bothered with any damn stuff from England.
You said this morning you'd have to get your letters. Besides, I rather want mine. We must touch the world for love.
No.
Don't you see?
No. I know what I feel is the truth, Olivia. I love you, and I want to be with you. It's really very simple. It's all right with you, darling. I'd rather not hang around in Salzburg. It'll be fiendishly crowded with the festival on.
Shall we come back here?
Well, yes, if you like. As soon as we've picked up the mail, we'll head back in this direction. I wish we didn't have to go at all.
I'm so happy. Never before so happy.
You finished, darling?
Almost. I had to give up on Jocelyn's. I couldn't read the handwriting.
He's not very far away from here, is he?
About 50 miles or so, I should think. Why?
Oh, just curious.
Everything all right at home?
Yes.
You don't sound too sure.
Darling, would you mind terribly if we cut the holiday short?
Why? What's happened?
Now, one of my partners wants to go off to Italy. Seems there's been a muddle over dates. They rather expect me to be back by the end of the month.
So that's why you sat so long staring at the lake.
I couldn't think how to break it to you.
Poor Rollo.
And if they hadn't been so damn decent to me in the past, I'd tempted to ignore the whole thing, pretend I'd never got the letter.
You could never do that.
And I thought as we were so near, you might like to go and visit your friends.
Oh, I see. That explains the sudden interest in Jocelyn.
Well, I'd love you to motor back to England with me.
No, I don't think I want to go back to England. Not just yet.
Yeah, good. Sky looks rather ominous, have you noticed?
I wondered why my head was aching. It always does when there's thunder about.
Well, I don't expect there'll be a storm. It's too far off.
When do you go?
Well, I ought to head back in the morning if I'm to be back in time.
I'll help you to pack.
Thank you, darling. I'm very sorry. We were having such fun. Whatever happens, remember I love you. Nothing can change that. Remember I love you.
It is all right. I don't mind. I know he had to go back. I could have forced him, but it wouldn't have been any good. What will happen now? Will everything be the same when I go back? The old pattern re-established? But that's not possible. Things do change, grow, decay. Which is it to be? We were so close till that letter came. Oh, God, I've falling. How stupid. Must have dropped off. Thank God the bus is almost empty. I feel sick. Must be the bus. Car never affected me. I swear this is the longest 50 miles in creation. Jocelyn! Thank God! Jocelyn! Jocelyn! How fine they look. Jocelyn's brave friends. Are they hopeful because they've suffered so much? Is that how life works? In eternal paradoxes? I wish I felt better. Jocelyn's disappointed in me. All I want to do is sleep. I must have eaten something. That would explain the sickness. I know it's sudden, Jocelyn, but I really feel I must go back. I can't seem to throw off this wretched food poisoning. I'll be better off in London. Really? Thank God for your sleeper, Rollo. I'd have died without it. Poor Jocelyn. He couldn't understand. He thought he'd offended me. But I couldn't tell him I was afraid I might be pregnant. Could I? Oh, God. How long is it now?
clinches it, doesn't it? What am I going to do? Thank you. Etty?
Darling! Oh! I didn't expect you back for weeks yet. I say, you look done in. Are you all right?
Bit travel-weary. As a matter of fact, I seem to have picked up some wretched foreign bug or other. Food poisoning, most likely. You know how it is when you feel a bit under the weather. No place like home.
Come and sit down. You really do look ghastly. I'll make you a cocktail. Luckily, there's a scrap of gin and grapefruit in the cupboard.
Sounds heavenly.
I was just about to have a doleful little orgy on my own to strengthen me for Jack.
He's still around, then?
Well, low be it spoken, I was going to abandon him to his fate when he came up with this marvellous offer.
What's that?
Greece. Can you believe it? He's taking me to Greece. A cruise, if you please. We sail from Southampton tomorrow.
Oh, Etty, how wonderful.
There's no ice, I'm afraid.
It doesn't matter, bless you.
Oh. Of course, he's not the most scintillating company in the world. But then we superfluous women can't afford to be too choosy, can we?
Well, I know what I would have done. After all, a girl doesn't get an offer like that every day.
Now, that's enough about me. I want you to tell me everything from beginning to end. Austria is such a divine country, isn't it? There's something so adorable about it. I do envy you. London's been an absolute oven, and there are masses of letters for you. I say, Olivia, are you all right? There, your own room. I've popped some sheets on the bed, so all you have to do is cast yourself between them.
Etty, you're an angel. What would I have done if you hadn't been here?
Cooked magnificently, I imagine. You always do.
You have a jolly time now, and don't worry about me. I'll be asleep before you're out of the house.
I don't have to go quite yet.
I'm all right, really.
You don't feel sick, do you?
Good heavens, no. Just stale after the journey. I'll have a bath, then carry on reading my letters.
Anything fascinating?
Actually, one rather worrying one from a friend. She's an actress. I don't think you ever knew her. The thing is, she's been having an affair with some man or other. She didn't say who, naturally. What matters is he's married. Very much so, I gather. Well, now it seems she started a baby.
My dear, how shattering.
We were good friends at Oxford. I expect that's why she's turned to me for help.
Has she tried the pills?
She didn't say. There are pills out there. She probably doesn't know about them. She was always fairly innocent about all that sort of thing. Did they work? I'm sure she'd want to try them if there was even the remotest chance.
Well, they don't work if the worst really has happened. But they do get you back to normal if it's a false alarm. Well, you know yourself, in this heat.
Yes, she did say she hoped that's all it was.
There's a chemist in Lavender Hill sells them. Brackley's or Bracton, some name like that. One of Mona's friends has to take them every summer. The heat plays absolute havoc with her system, poor lamb.
I'll try and get some. Post them off to her. She's on tour at the moment.
I do know they give you the most stupefying diarrhea.
If by any chance the pills don't work...
Oh, Lord. I don't know. Has she got any money?
Some, I think. Not much.
I do know someone. But if she's on tour...
Oh, she could come up to London. She's touring the South East, Weymouth, Brighton, those sort of places.
What was his name? Tread something. It's ages since I...
Is he in the telephone book?
Oh, yes, but not as a... Well, obviously. He's got a more or less respectable practice as a manipulator or something.
But you can't remember his name?
Tread Even. That was his name.
How can I get hold of him? Can I ring him and make an appointment for her?
Well, that's a bit difficult. You see, it's fearfully dangerous for him. I mean, if he's caught, it means prison. In spite of his being a public benefactor, really. Well, when you think of the regiments of erring women he's saved from ruin...
So what do I do? There must be some way of contacting him.
Well,
You could give him my name, I suppose. Did you go to him, Et? My dear, low be it spoken, I did. It was ages ago, and I swore never again. Isn't it too shattering? The wages of sin, darling. Oh, Etty, how ghastly for you. I never guessed. I didn't tell a soul, except Mona. She was an absolute saint. She arranged everything. Poor Ed. I'm so sorry. Were you awfully in love? Well, no, darling. That was the crowning shame. It was just once. He was so importunate. I never dreamed. I couldn't tell him. I simply loathed him the moment after. Never wanted to see him again. Yes, I can imagine. Oh, but it's not like that for me. I love Rollo so much. I want to have his child. These physical processes are too treacherous, don't you agree? Why we wretched females should be so beleaguered. Is he terribly expensive? Well, he's not cheap. But he will come down a bit for your friend if he thinks she really can't afford it. Oh, Etty, you're a brick. I know how difficult it must have been for you to tell me. I promise I won't breathe a word to anyone. The feminine conspiracy. It's all we have sometimes. If we didn't help each other. Oh, Lord. That time already? Mustn't disappoint Jack. I'll look in on you in the morning before I leave. I'm afraid I've got a barbarously early start. Don't worry. I have to be up early myself. I want to catch the midday train home. Good night, darling. Good night. Don't forget to finish your gin. I don't know. Where do they get the energy?
They love coming here. Mother's so much more indulgent with them than she ever was with us. Have you noticed? When we were children, she was so on her dignity, she practically pretended she had no legs. And of course they loved pushing Dad around in that bath chair contraption.
Do you think he minds?
Dad?
Yes.
I don't think he notices.
Kate, do you ever think you'll have any more?
Any more what?
Children.
Heaven forbid. 4's more than enough. Especially for such individuals as my brood.
How did you feel when you were pregnant? Were you terribly sick? I don't seem to remember.
I was at first. Most women are.
How long did it go on for?
Oh, it varied. 6-8 weeks. Why the sudden interest?
Just that you seem to manage everything so well. The children are so splendid in every way. Must go in. I'm due for another dose. If only I didn't feel so sick. 5 days. The chemist said 3 or 4, didn't he? It's no use. It's not going to work.
Nice of Mum to let us off on our own.
She looks younger than ever. I swear she's blossomed since Dad became so dependent on her.
Oh, look! Our initials carved on the tree. Do you remember? We came here the day after Marigold's party.
I decided I was no longer in love with Archie. And you were...
I just met Tony Harriet.
What did go wrong, Kate? You never said.
Nothing. Absolute fade-out. He was coming to see me in Paris, and he just never turned up. No letter. Nothing. I thought at the time his beastly parents must have interfered. I don't know. Anyway, it's old history now.
You don't mind anymore, do you, Kate?
No. One gets over everything in time.
Dear Kate, I wanted so much to share it with you, but you never once asked. Shall I tell you what's happened to me? Shall I say, listen, Kate, I'm going to have a child.
I saw him the other day, in the village. He was coming out of the post office. I almost fainted.
Kate?
Mother said he was due back on leave.
Did you speak to him?
No, I didn't. He looked at me and sort of just lifted his hat brim.
Was it... I mean, did it bring it all back?
Not really. As a matter of fact, I'm glad I've seen him again. It's always been something to get over. Whatever happens, nothing can be as bad as that again. The endless blankness and suspense. One can't put up any defences.
I suppose Having children, it makes most things possible in the end.
Oh, God, I don't know. If only they were all grown up, safe and independent. It seems such years before one can hope to feel calm about them. Perhaps one never does. Sometimes when one of them gets sick, I think, I can't go through all this again. I simply can't. Better to have exposed them all at birth.
I wish I could share it more with you.
Be thankful you're out of it.
Kate?
Yes?
It doesn't matter.
You know, you really do look terrible. I think you ought to let Mother call in Dr. Martin.
Whatever for? Etty's doctor said it was only a matter of time before the infection clears up.
Did he also tell you you wouldn't be able to keep your food down?
What makes you think that?
Oh, come on, Liv, I'm not blind. I know why you keep disappearing upstairs.
I didn't think anyone had noticed.
How good is this doctor of Etty's?
As good as anyone. Look, if it makes you feel better, I'll go and see him again. I have to go back to London tomorrow. Anna's due home, and I promised
not reopening the studio, is she?
No. She's living in Simon's cottage more or less permanently now. I promised I'd go down with her as soon as she got back.
Well, I suppose you know what you're doing.
Hyde Park 6529.
Oh, good morning. May I speak to Mr. Spencer, please?
Mr. Spencer is out of town, madam.
Oh, I see. Could you tell me when he'll be back?
I couldn't actually say, madam. He's gone to Ireland, and then I fancy he goes on to Scotland.
I see. I suppose letters would be forwarded?
Oh, yes, certainly, madam. Yes, anything sent here would be forwarded at once.
Thank you very much.
Nothing for it now but wait. He must write to me at least. Oh, God, this town. It's as if there'd been a plague. The burnt-out end of summer. Everyone's away. Even Anna. Her letter. I must think about that. Simon's ill, and she's going to stay with him till he's better. Oh, Simon. Why did you have to choose now? I need Anna every bit as much as you do. Must do something. Break this spell. Pop. That's it. To be near water. Fresh, clear. Oh, to be washed clean. How can they be so happy? There's a fund, isn't there, to send them to the seaside. I really must contribute. Why do I walk here? It's a wasteland.
Good morning.
Oh, hello.
I've been watching you.
Oh.
Every day. Same time. I thought you looked lonely.
I take my lunch at the birdcage. It's in the next street.
Personally, I find religion a great consolation.
Do you?
For what is a man profited if he should gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Think about it.
I will. Thank you. Oh, this is bliss. Just to see the water. I'll eat another piece of cheese. I've enough to last till I get home. Then I'll think what to do.
Excuse me. Is anyone sitting here?
Oh, no, please. There's room for the little boy, too.
Thank you.
How old is he?
He's 3. He doesn't know it, but he's going to hospital.
I'm so sorry. I do hope it isn't serious.
The doctors say only a miracle can save him.
But that's terrible. Whatever's the matter with him?
He has fits. Something's wrong with his brain. He's not simple, mind. If anything, he's too forward.
I'm most dreadfully sorry.
He's so good, never complains. Of course, he suffers terribly.
There's no help for it, is there? None at all. Human beings are in a bad way. I suppose it's to be expected. Another day. No different from all the others. It's all part of the trap. How dreary it looks. Everyone's so sad. I won't go out today. It's going to thunder. I must think what to do. I'll read Rollo's letter again. That's it. Not that it helps. He's in the Highlands, a shooting party, not back till the end of the month. He got my telegram. He's so sorry I've been ill. Of course, he has no idea. If only I could sleep without dreaming. Oh, my God. Rollo. Could it be him?
Lady Spencer. Ah, Olivia. Something told me I should find you in. Come in. May I? Just for a moment.
I had no idea you were in London. Won't you sit down?
Thank you. What a charming little house.
Yes, isn't it? Etty's abroad.
Are you alone, then?
For the moment. I may go away again in a week or so.
I suppose your work kept you.
No, I'm not working. The studio's been closed down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I'm luckier than most. I do have a little put by.
So much unemployment. Very distressing.
Yes.
I came to see you, Olivia,
I
because
always knew you would.
I've hesitated a long time. I do hope you'll believe my intentions towards you are friendly.
He's told you, then?
Rollo has told me nothing.
Then how did
you sent him a telegram.
Oh.
It was brought to me. Naturally, I sent it on to him at once.
I see.
I realize I'm interfering.
Yes.
It's a risk I have to take. You see, I've known for some time now, or rather, guessed.
You're very intuitive.
I am his mother. Naturally, one is sensitive. He hasn't been himself, not since the beginning of the year.
I suppose you've come to ask me to give him up.
Rollo is weak. He can't bear to hurt. Any sensitive man in his position is bound to be weak.
So you've come to me?
I've always liked you, Olivia. I hope you'll believe I'm here as your friend.
Why should I give him up? I love him. We trust each other. If he wanted it...
He's unhappy, I'm sure of that. If he weren't so afraid of hurting you...
You don't know. You don't know anything about it.
I know he will never leave his wife, if that's what you're thinking. Any break-up of the marriage is quite out of the question. Especially now.
What is she saying? What's happened? She's so sure she's going to win.
I'm asking you to be generous, Olivia. If you love him, and I believe you do, you'll know that what he needs is a real home.
Yes.
Will you be generous, Olivia? Will you make the sacrifice? For his sake. I must say, you appear to have been remarkably indiscreet.
What do you mean?
I should have thought it wiser to avoid a town populated by half London for the festival.
Salzburg, oh my God.
Luckily, my informant is unimpeachably discreet. It's a miracle it didn't reach Nicola's ears. Did you ever think of that? Rollo must have been mad. Of course, if you wish to sacrifice your own reputation, that's your affair. But I'd like to know by what right you endanger other people's. If Nicola had got to hear of it...
Why shouldn't she suffer like everybody else? What's the matter with her? Just because she hasn't got the guts to put her own stockings on, she's to be treated like a Ming vase. You think it's all right to behave like her. She's so well-bred, ladylike. She must be protected. And it doesn't matter what happens to inferior people like me. We can be ill, we can be worn down, so long as you're...
Olivia? Olivia, are you all right?
I'm sorry.
Can I fetch you some water?
No, thank you. I'm all right.
Are you ill?
I expect it's the thunder. It always does it to me.
Oh, I do hope our little talk didn't...
You did what you had to do.
I've always so admired you and Kate. I felt so grieved when your marriage... I should so rejoice to see you with a happy home of your own.
I'd be less of a menace. Isn't that what you mean?
Please, Olivia, don't be bitter. We've known each other a long time. I hoped you'd be able to judge less cynically of my motives. I've been fortunate myself. happy in my marriage. But I don't for that reason suppose marriage is the solution for every woman. For you, though, I'm convinced it's what should be.
Funny. That's what he said, too.
Don't waste yourself, Olivia.
Help me. Can't you see I'm in trouble? Please help me.
Olivia?
I can't promise anything. When I see him, if I really think he wants... I'll know when I see him.
Make it easy for him. You're not weak.
Oh, but I am.
And I can rely on you. Not a word to him about this conversation.
I promise.
I won't trouble you again, Olivia. Think of me as out of the picture, definitely. Forever. Unless, of course, you should wish to see me.
Then we may not meet again.
People must manage their own lives.
I always knew you'd come. I've been expecting you for nearly a year.
The rain's easing, I think. My husband will want to take the dogs out.
Is he any better? I was so sorry
We can't
to hear...
hope for much, I'm afraid. I expect Rollo's told you. He's had a full, happy life. We both have. It shouldn't be too hard to find oneself at the end.
Goodbye, Lady Spencer.
Goodbye, my dear. Take care of yourself. You know, you really don't look at all well.
I'm all right.
You're not in any trouble, are you?
No, why should I be? Do you mean like kitchen maids?
I think you understand.
You're very suspicious.
I don't mean to be. Well, after all, such things do happen. I'd be so sorry. It would be so terrible for you.
I am not going to have a baby, if that's what you mean.
Rollo could never... Well, an illegitimate child would be quite unthinkable.
Lady Spencer, I am not going to have a baby.
Forgive me. It was just a sudden... I'm sorry. Well, I really must get back. Sir John will be fretting. I'd better take a taxi.
Shall I ring up for one?
No, thank you. There's no need. I'm sure to find one in the street.
There's usually one waiting at the corner.
Yes. Goodbye, Olivia.
Goodbye, Lady Spencer.
How awful. Worse than I had imagined. I am not going to have a baby. You needn't worry. The family name won't be tarnished. I am not going to have a baby.
So you see, Mr. Tredeven, it would be quite impossible for me to have a baby at this time. My husband's already sailed.
I understand perfectly, Mrs. Craig. Nature's a wily dame, no sense of timing.
It would upset all our plans.
We can't have that now, can we?
Of course we want to have children later, when we're settled.
Naturally.
You will help me then?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craig, we'll soon fix you up. Shall we say next Friday at 3?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My fee is 100. Pounds, that is, not guineas.
100?
You can't manage that.
It is a little difficult.
Well, I don't want to be hard on you. Let's say 80, shall we? In notes, if you don't mind. You understand, I can't accept a cheque.
But it must be worth more than that. It's a perfect emerald, isn't it?
I'm not denying it's a good stone, madam. I wouldn't go so far as to say perfect.
I'm sure it cost far more than £70.
That's as may be, madam. The market for this class of stone fluctuates from day to day. I suppose you wouldn't happen to know where it was purchased?
No, I don't.
If you'd like to compare it...
No, thank you. I'll try somewhere else.
I can offer you 75, madam. Not a penny more.
75. If I pawn the cigarette case...
Very well. 75.
Oh, Rollo. I'm so sorry. Your beautiful ring.
There you are, Mrs. Craig. Not so bad after all, was it?
No, thank you.
You just relax now. I've ordered a taxi to take you home. There's nothing to worry about.
When will it begin?
Oh, sometime within the next 12 hours. I suggest you go straight to bed when you get home. Find yourself a nice book. Something cheerful.
Excuse me. I've changed my mind. Would you take me to the Empire Cinema in Leicester Square, please? Thank you. Oh, God. It's beginning. I must get out. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That's better. I can breathe. Good God. Of all people.
Hello. I saw you leave.
This is a surprise. I thought you were abroad.
I have been. I'm just back.
Where's her... What's her name? I can never remember.
Marda decided to stay on in Brittany for a bit. We spent the summer there. I've been writing a book.
Good for you. Is it finished?
Not quite. I got stuck. Marda thought I'd probably been overworking.
Ivor, do you think you could get me a taxi? I'm not feeling up to much.
I thought you looked a bit jaded.
The heat in the cinema did me in, I think.
Shall I come with you? See if you're all right? I have nothing particular to do this evening.
I can't promise to be any sort of company.
I don't mind.
Well, if you like. But you'll have to fend for yourself. I'm not up to cooking supper.
Olivia, are you all right?
Pain!
Where? What kind of pain?
In my stomach.
Shall I get a doctor?
Yes, quick! Tell him I'm having a miscarriage.
There, feeling better, are we?
Yes, thank you.
I'm afraid you lost the baby.
Oh.
I've told your husband you must stay where you are for a few days. Plenty of rest and a decent diet, that's what you need. I suppose you've been going in for this slimming craze.
No.
Well, you're far too thin. Your heart's a bit flabby, too. You haven't been taking anything, have you?
No.
You modern girls. You're all the same. You take too much on. You can't play about with nature, you know, not without paying for it.
I'll try to be more careful.
If you want me to look in again, just give me a ring.
Thank you. Your fee. If you wouldn't mind passing me my handbag.
Oh, don't worry. I'll see your husband on the way out.
No. That is... We keep all the money in my bag. It's safer.
I see.
How much?
10 shillings. That covers the visit and the pills. Thank you. Goodbye then, Mrs. Craig, and don't hesitate to call me if you have any more pain.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Doctor. Goodbye.
It's over. What must I ever be thinking?
How do you feel?
I'm afraid I've been rather a nuisance.
Oh, that's all right. It's a good thing I ran into you, really.
Yes.
Can I get you anything?
Is there any food? I'm absolutely ravenous.
There's a tin of chocolate. I could do with a drink myself.
Sounds heavenly.
I'll see what else I can forage, shall I? I'm afraid I ate the ham.
That was delicious.
You look better already.
Bit of a rum situation, wouldn't you say?
I don't know. Seems to me it's remarkably natural. Our being together, I mean.
Ivor, what's happened to you? You're not even curious.
After all, it's not as if we quarrelled or anything.
No, we never quarrelled.
I've often wanted to drop in, see how you are.
I don't think Marda would approve of that. Do you?
She's always asking me why I don't get a divorce.
Do you want one?
No, not particularly. Do you?
I don't really mind one way or the other.
We're agreed on that, then.
Of course you realise it's nearly morning. Technically speaking, we've spent a night together. That's what's called condoning, isn't it?
I suppose it is. I don't really see that it matters.
I'm very grateful for your kindness, Ivor.
Olivia?
Yes?
What would you say to another shot?
You and me.
It's not just an impulse. I've thought about it a lot. Everything was against us last time, and not least our total penury. Well, I've a good job lined up with Halkin, the film director. I was going to tell you about it. It's virtually settled. It would mean we could live comfortably.
But what about your writing?
Well, I'd have to shelve that. For a bit, anyway. The important thing is that we'd have some security. Prospects. I've always wanted to get into films.
Oh, Ivor.
I take it you're more or less a free agent?
Yes. But I couldn't go back, Ivor. Really, I couldn't. You see, I've made my life now. It's not much to write home about, but I couldn't change it. I'm sorry.
Well, it was only a suggestion.
I appreciate it, Ivor. Especially after you've been...
Well, I'll be getting along then.
Oh, wait till it's light, surely.
You'll be all right, will you?
Yes, fine. Etty's due back the day after tomorrow. I'll be right as rain.
I couldn't, touch you for 10 bob, could I? Just to tide me over?
Of course. There's my handbag. Take £1 if you need it.
I'll pay you back.
Oh, that's all right.
Are you staying in London? Perhaps we could have a meal together when you're feeling better.
Oh, my plans are rather vague. I expect I'll go down to Kate's.
Well, goodbye then, Olivia. Look after yourself.
Goodbye, Ivor. Thank you for all you've done. I loved him once. We fell in love. Is it my fault he seems so dead? I won't think about it. I'm to be washed clean, whiter than snow. I shall look at Rollo with clear, washed eyes. I shall see truth.
In the world. Do you remember the first time we were here? Anna played the piano and we all sang.
I don't know, it looks different.
No one's been here for several weeks, that's all.
I dare say.
Shall I light a fire? After all, it is autumn. It might make things seem less dismal.
You won't mind, will you, being here on your own?
Anna and Simon are expected any day now. I'd like to make the place nice for them. Simon's been so very ill.
Oh, what's the matter with him?
Typhoid. Anna's had to nurse him night and day. They plan to leave France as soon as Simon's well enough to travel.
You look as if you could do a bit of cosseting yourself. Never seen you look so pale.
Everybody's a bit sickly these days. Haven't you noticed? It's a sign of the times.
No, darling, don't be biblical. I can't stand that sort of thing.
Perhaps you'd rather we hadn't come.
No, of course not, darling. We never gave you that idea. We've had such fun here, always.
I am trying, Lady Spencer. I have kept my promise. If only I knew where to begin.
Oh, well, I expect it's the weather. These sort of days always make one feel liverish.
We don't have to stay.
We want to be together, don't we?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. It's probably all bunk, but, you know, I can't escape the feeling that there's something wrong.
Perhaps it's because Simon's ill.
No, I'm sure it's nothing to do with that. Anyway, you said he was on the mend.
We could go to that pub on the river. What was it called? The Wreath of May.
Would you mind terribly? This place does seem to depress me, and we don't want that, do we? Oh, we haven't seen each other in such ages. Now, the Wreath of May was rather a jolly place, as I remember. I've ordered drinks, darling. There's someone coming to light the fire.
Are we the only guests?
Well, yes, it rather looks that way.
Do you realise it's nearly a year?
I do. I bought you something. An anniversary present. Uh-huh.
Rollo, it's exquisite.
I remembered you saying that your own watch was broken.
But this is so much more. Platinum and diamonds. Is it a goodbye present?
What do you mean?
I don't know. It just looks like one. I'm sorry. Forgive me. It's just that it's been so long. It's a beautiful watch, Rollo. Thank you.
Darling, I have wanted you.
I thought I was never going to see you again.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I've neglected you shamefully. But it's all right now, isn't it, darling?
There's so much to say.
I know.
You feel it too.
Yes, I don't know. Is there? Perhaps we shouldn't.
Shall I tell you what happened, Rollo?
God. Oh, God, why didn't you tell me?
I tried, but you seemed so far away, and then I got into the state where you can't make any kind of effort, not even write a letter.
Does anybody know?
Not a soul, except the man who did it. I didn't see anybody at all, so as to make sure, but then I've been so remote for so long now, none of my friends noticed.
Christ! Oh, was he awful, this man? Did he charge the hell of a packet, and they always do, don't they?
It wasn't too bad. I had enough. I borrowed from Kate.
Oh, you should have let me. You should have let me pay for it.
No. It's over.
For God's sake, Olivia, it's the least possible thing I could...
But you did pay for it. You did. I sold your ring.
Emerald?
Yes. I had to. He wanted the money on the spot, and I couldn't... Even if I'd known where you were, I couldn't have asked you. Don't you see? It had to be my sacrifice because I knew you didn't want... You'd always said a child was out of the question, so I knew I thought if I do it myself, bear it, it'll redeem it a little. It was different for me, you see. I wanted it. I've never stopped wanting it.
No, don't cry, please. Don't. Oh, Christ, the idea of you. Christ, I feel...
It's finished. You needn't feel anything. It's over.
Oh, darling, what a shame. What a bad luck.
Sometimes I laid the craziest plans for going through with it. Of course, I knew it would never work out, but...
I don't honestly think that it would. I'm rather glad... I should... Let's get out of here, shall we? Walk down to the river. I don't ever want to see this room again.
What a strange sky. All the colours have run.
Not like a sunset at all.
My darling. Now it's all been said. Remember, I love you. You mustn't speak on that scale ever again, must we? That was another world. Now we must face facts.
Fascinating creatures, swans, don't you think? Look at that pair. They're so graceful. I read somewhere that they keep the same mates all their lives.
Oh, I see.
What is it?
I understand.
Understand what, Olivia?
No, Rollo. I can't share this with you. This is on another level altogether. A disillusion. I die, and I am reborn. It has to be alone.
I'm sorry, darling. I must have been tight when they showed me the room earlier. It looked quite jolly with the sun streaming in through the windows.
The beds are an alarmingly respectable pair, aren't they? Not at all appropriate.
We should have stayed at the cottage.
How's Nicola? I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, all right. Never better, in fact.
Some people do feel their best at these times, especially, quite often, the delicate ones.
Who told you?
I have visitations, you know. I hear voices.
Was it when we were down by the river?
Yes.
I thought something had happened.
When is it due?
Sometime next spring, I think. I'm not sure.
Everyone must be thrilled. Friends, relations. I do hope it's a boy.
Don't.
Were you going to tell me? I noticed you perked up no end during dinner. Was it the thought of the surprise in store for me?
I was going to tell you, of course. I couldn't see how after...
It's none of my business, of course, but did you know about the baby before we went abroad?
No, I didn't.
But you knew the day we...
Yes.
The letter. Was it from your partner?
No, it was from Nicola.
What a good thing you took my advice and went to Salzburg for your letters.
Yes, it was, wasn't it? I always told you I wasn't any good, didn't I? I warned you that I'd let you down in the end.
It's my fault for believing what you said. I should have known you were only trying to make things easy for me.
What things? What are you talking about?
When you told me that you and Nicola, when you said you never, not since the missing...
No, that was the truth. I'd never have lied to you about something so important.
When did it stop being the truth?
No, I don't know. After we talked...
About the time I went to live in Jocelyn's studio?
Yes, I suppose so, about then.
No wonder you were in such good form.
Was I? Well, I don't remember.
2 women in love with you, neither one knowing.
Olivia, I couldn't see what to do. I couldn't exactly come posting to tell you, could I? But I couldn't give you up either. A year ago, with Nicola, I'd have said it was the only thing I wanted, but then you went and got so terribly important.
I see it was awkward for you. And then I suppose your maxim came in useful. What people don't know can't hurt them.
You see...
What?
I don't know. She's changed. When we were married, she wasn't in love with me. She'd always been in love with another chap.
Archie?
Yes, how did you know? Well, he went all out after her, and then he sort of backed out. It's a favourite trick of his. She had the hell of a time. She takes things terribly to heart and can't sort of express herself. She agreed to marry me on the understanding I'd sort of be there, you know. She could rely on me. Well, it worked fairly well for a bit. Then there was this baby business. Sort of upset her. Everything seemed a failure all round. She got into a sort of state.
Now I must accept her as real, human, and suffering.
Well, then I got a bit gloomy myself. I didn't know what to do, and then I met you. I thought it wouldn't make any difference to her one way or another, whether she knew or not. But I don't know, gradually it did seem to make a difference.
She fell in love with you.
I suppose she did a bit. Sort of seemed like it at the time. And does sort of hear of it happening, doesn't one?
Well, you don't have to worry anymore now. It's been decided for you.
You mean you don't want to see me again?
I don't think I could trust myself to behave well. Not now that there's to be a baby.
I see. Well, very well then. I love you, Olivia. You don't believe me, but it's true.
I believe you.
I love you.
Darling, hello? Oh, there you are. Have you seen the evening papers?
No. Why should I?
Oh, it's on all the placards. I thought you'd be bound to.
Etty, what's happened?
It's your friend Rollo Spencer. Seems he's had an accident. I was so afraid you'd...
Is he dead?
No, though his injuries are rather critical. Of course, you know how these newspaper people love to dramatise.
When did it happen?
Early this morning. A head-on collision with a lorry somewhere between Henley and Maidenhead. Oh, isn't it too devastating? I know how devoted you are to all the family.
His injuries, how bad are they? Do you know?
Well, the report I read said grave injuries to the head and legs. Oh, darling, you'd better sit down. You look quite ashen. I'll see if I can find some brandy. Hello?
May I speak to Olivia Curtis, please?
Oh, yes, just one moment. Darling, there's someone on the phone for you. I don't know who. Are you sure you'll be all right?
Yes. Hello?
Is that Olivia?
Lady Spencer. Oh, is Rollo all right?
I thought I must get in touch with you, in case you'd seen those tiresome evenings.
How is he? Is it bad?
Well, he has a broken jaw, poor dear, and a rather horrid smashed leg, but we have every hope, with his splendid constitution, that he'll pull through.
Is he in pain?
Well, he's under morphia. Everything that's humanly possible is being done. We got hold of Slade Murray the moment we heard such a brilliant...
Can I see him?
Oh, I'm afraid that's out of the question.
But you don't understand. It was my fault.
Whatever do you mean?
I just said goodbye to him. He was very upset. Don't you see? It would never have happened otherwise. He's such a good driver.
Wondered where
You must let me see him.
Now, really, my dear, this is all nonsense. I'm sure it had absolutely nothing whatever to do with you.
Is Nicola with him?
Yes, she's with him now. She's being quite splendid, I must say. We were afraid the shock, but she's rallied magnificently. Now, listen, Olivia. I shall keep you informed. Do you understand? I'll ring or write you a line every day without fail. I will also tell him at the first opportunity that you inquired after him, that I myself spoke to you.
Thank you. Yes, he might worry. If you just mention my name...
You can trust me, Olivia. After all, we're old friends.
Yes.
Goodbye, Olivia.
Goodbye, Lady Spencer.
Now I'm alone, punished beyond even my worst fears. If he dies, it will be my fault, no matter what she says. But he won't die. If I say his name over and over, he can't die. I must start now, not stop till I hear he's well again. Nothing else matters anymore, just so long as he doesn't die. Rollo, Rollo, Rollo.
Olivia, at last.
Hello, Colin.
So, the nun has left her convent?
Yes.
I was determined you and Anna would come. We can't mourn Simon forever, you know.
Dear Colin, you're right. But I can't help thinking. It's been haunting me for weeks. Simon was a sacrifice.
Sacrifice? What for? Well, whatever do you mean?
Well, look at us. We're all corrupt. Guilty.
Olivia, that's nonsense. Dying's so insidious. It's so easy. Death's catching. We must steer clear of it. I mean, look at us all, carrying death about with us, breathing it in at every port because he caught it. Can't you just hear him? Our responsibility is towards the living. Anna knows what I mean.
Hello, you two.
Anna, you look beautiful. What a marvellous dress.
Simon gave it to me just a few weeks before he died. He seemed so much better suddenly, we thought... I haven't had the courage to wear it before.
Then I take it as a considerable compliment, my dear Anna, that you chose my party. Oh, dear, better take cover. Cora Maxwell has spotted you, Anna. I swear that woman's resolved to mourn Simon for the rest of her life. She's worse than you, Olivia.
They're dreadful. I see them
How's Rollo? Have you heard?
He's much better. I only get an occasional bulletin now.
And you're not still blaming yourself?
Oh, Anna, I blame myself for so many things. Not least that I burdened you and...
You loved Simon, too. After he died, I made him a wreath of bay. He looked so triumphant.
Yes.
Now we're both alone.
Superfluous women, as Etty would say.
Come with me to the country, Olivia. Why don't you? You know Simon left me the cottage.
Yes, Colin told me.
He'd want you to share it with me. In fact, he said as much before he died.
Oh, Anna, I don't know. I'd love to come, really. It's just...
I know. You don't have to tell me. You want to see Rollo again. You'll know then.
His mother's promised to arrange it for me. I expect her to ring me any day now.
Then I'll wait. There's no hurry. After all, we've the rest of our lives ahead of us.
Darling!
Hello, Rollo.
Darling, it was a glorious thought of you to come.
I thought, after such a discreet interval, it wouldn't look...
Oh, you were always such a clever little thing.
After all, I am an old friend of the family.
And isn't it the most incredible luck? They're all out.
I'm afraid I didn't bring you anything.
My darling, it's enough to see you again.
I see you've still got Lucy.
Yes, I'm completely at her mercy.
Rollo,
Yes, darling.
there's something I have to know. The accident. Was it my fault?
Your fault? Whatever do you mean? How could it possibly be?
I thought you might have been upset after what happened. Not being so careful.
Oh, good God. Whatever put that notion into your head? If ever I do have thoughts of bumping myself off, and I swear to you I haven't any so far, I'll choose a far less messy way of doing it, not drag in innocent lorry drivers.
That's all right, then.
I see you've still got our ring.
Oh, yes.
You were right to prefer it to the emerald. Looks exactly right on you.
It's got to be so much part of me, I couldn't not wear it.
I am glad.
What time is it?
3:30. No, don't worry. No one will come in before 4.
Nevertheless, I really must be going. I only came to reassure myself.
You're not still angry with me, are you, darling? We're still going to see each other.
No, Rollo. I don't think so. I had to come this one time, just to be sure.
Oh, darling, you look so sweet when you frown like that. I have missed you.
Please, Rollo. I'm nervous about people coming.
But I'm still your lover, aren't I?
Rollo, you are an awful man. You don't know what you're saying. Oh, give it up. What's the use? We don't understand one another.
Kiss me.
Rollo.
Come here, please, Olivia. Now, kiss me. Oh, darling, we've had such lovely times, haven't we? I should so terribly miss our lunches, and the drives, and all those heavenly places we stayed in. Do you remember the little inn? The one in the mountains with that ghastly little band? It was fun, wasn't it, darling?
Weather in the Streets, adapted by Elspeth Sands from the novel by Rosamond Lehmann, the part of Olivia was played by Angela Pleasence and Rollo by Simon Cadell. Lady Spencer, Maxine Audley. Kate, Marian Diamond. Mrs. Curtis, Monica Gray. Etty, Rosalind Ayres. Ivor Craig, Tom Wilkinson. Anna, Susan Engel. Simon, Jonathan Youth. Colin, Sylvester Morand, with Peter Baldwin, Fred Bryant, Brian Carroll, Eva Stewart, Roger Hammond, and Gregory de Paulney. The music was arranged and directed by Mike Steer. The play was directed by Jane Morgan.